They'll have their numbers raised to the rafters here. Of course, George Armstrong wore sweater number 10 as captain, followed Sil Apps to wear that distinguished number. Here's a look at a couple of portraits that are available across Canada, featuring all the different looks that the Toronto Maple Leafs and Montreal Canadiens, original 6 arch rivals, and the two teams upon whom so many of the dreams of youngsters across the country have been built. This is a little inspiration for the night, as I say. When you think about it, next year the Toronto Maple Leafs move east to a new conference and a little south from here into the Air Canada Centre, so there won't be too many more nights like tonight. From Maple Leaf Gardens, the historic Grand Old Lady at 60 Carlton, it's the Canadiens and the Leafs coast to coast coming up. Montreal won the first game 5-1 at the Molson Centre, so it's the rubber match with revenge for the Leafs coming up when we face it off after this.
Steve Smith, Kathy Jones host the Gemini Awards Sunday on CBC.
Watch Kids First, the Easter Seals Telethon, March 7th and 8th on CBC.
Day here in the Toronto area, the final day of February, and one wonders if March comes in like a lamb or in like a lion of winter. The Montreal Canadiens and the Toronto Maple Leafs, as we welcome all viewers nationwide to this grand old rivalry. I'm Ron McLean. Don Cherry's here tonight. Well, you know, when you think about it, it's Sundin and Koivu at the heart of this. It's no longer the Catholics against the Protestants, the English or the French, Quebec and Ontario, but we do have Don in the first intermission, and we do have Dick Irvin, Bob Cole, and Harry Neal standing by. We have a wonderful ceremony this evening for George Armstrong and for Charlie Conacher, the big bomber. Conn Smythe, of all the horses he had, he only named 2 for hockey players, one for the Chief Army and one for the big bomber blue for Charlie Conacher. You'll see them honored here tonight. And Michael Burgess will perform the national anthem here this evening in English and French in honor of this lone visit by the Montreal Canadiens, who are playing a little hurt. No Malakoff, no Corson, no Bureau. Toronto is hoping to get it going offensively with Freddie Modin, their hottest player of late. The Leafs and the Canadiens in Game 2 of our doubleheader also has nostalgia going for it. In the history of the Vancouver Millionaires and Ottawa Senators, we'll have that as Game 2. All still to come from MLG.
Beer drinkers may be wondering why I'm introducing my new Dave's Munich Bock in the middle of winter. Well, last year at this time I was in Munich, where traditionally the cold, short days before Easter inspired its monks to brew a very special beer called Bock. Dave's Munich Bock is brewed with the same care and traditional ingredients such as Munich malt and Bavarian hops. Why not try my new Dave's Munich Bock and discover why Bock beer has been a winter tradition since the Middle Ages? Dave's Munich Bock. It's not ordinary beer.
Catch Peter Jordan back on the job on It's a Living.
He's nervous. They'll gladly make their calls as tall men dribble their ball.
Peter works up some laughs with Air Force comedy star Don Ferguson, Monday at 7:30.
Meet Ernie Post.
Tonight's theme, love.
He's dedicated to making your life better. Greg Toomey stars in Daily Tips for Modern Living.
Well, what a great tip.
Premiering Monday at 8 on CBC.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I guess there was a car. It smashed into it.
But are you okay?
Yeah, we're okay.
Great.
At CIBC Insurance, we're here to help. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We'll call the tow truck, the car rental, even the police, whatever it takes.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, and it's always nice to welcome the Canadiens here to meet the Leafs, and always nice to welcome Dick Irvin. What about the Habs, Dick?
What do you mean jet lag? All these visitors from Nagano look great here tonight. Canadiens injury. Shane Corson leads the league in power play goals, out. Vladimir Malakoff, arguably the team's best defenseman when he's physically and mentally ready to play, also out.
Harry, the Leafs 5 points out of the playoffs tonight. What's going to happen?
Well, the good news for Toronto is that Freddie Modin has come to life. He's scored 7 of the last 13 Leaf goals, and they need some people to emerge if they have any hope of making the playoffs. Maybe Modin started something going.
Something special here tonight before the game. And here now is Paul Morris.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight the Toronto Maple Leafs are pleased to honor 2 individuals who have made outstanding contributions to our team. During a 9-year career with the Leafs, Charlie Conacher led the NHL in goals 5 times, won the Art Ross Trophy in 1934 and 1935, and led the team to the Stanley Cup in 1932. He is fondly remembered as the right winger on the famous Kid line, along with Joe Primo and Harvey Busher Jackson. The man that scored the first Leaf goal at Maple Leaf Gardens was elected to the Hockey Hall of Fame in 1961. Charlie is represented here tonight by his brother Bert Conacher, his sons Peter and Brad Conacher, and his nephews Murray Henderson and Brian Conacher. A 20-year career with the Leafs saw George Armstrong play the most games in club history. He also served the longest tenure of any Leafs captain from 1957 to 1969 and helped lead the team to 4 Stanley Cups in the 1960s. In 1975, the former right winger was elected to the Hockey Hall of Fame. Please welcome George Armstrong, who is joined by his wife, Betty. Representing the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight are Captain Matt Sundin and Assistant Captain Jamie McCown. Matt and Jamie are pleased to present a framed print and Maple Leaf jersey to George Armstrong and Bert Conacher. To honor the contribution of these two gentlemen, the Maple Leafs have produced banners in their name.
Are we going up or are we going down or what?
Yeah, stay close to the table.
Stay close, please.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, this evening's game marks the only visit to Maple Leaf Gardens this season by the Montreal Canadiens. Next year, this will change. To honor the occasion, will you please rise and join Michael Burgess in the singing in English and French of our national anthem.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all our sons' command, car ton bras est porté l'épée, il sait porter la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for
Come for a spin at your Ontario Ford and Mercury dealer. For a limited time, you'll find the Escort sedan or wagon for only $13,995. Both have no extra charge air conditioning and driver door remote keyless entry, plus loads more features. The Escort sedan or wagon for only $13,995. You can't lose at your Ford and Mercury dealer.
This time, I'll be Jolie, and you be Wickenheiser. Jolie picks up the puck. She skates over the blue line, and it's a drop pass for Wickenheiser. Wickenheiser gets the puck. She shoots.
Esso is proud to be a premier sponsor of Canada's women's hockey team. Heroes to a new generation.
You're on your way with Esso.
Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC. Brought to you by Molson Export Ale. That's the stuff. And by Ford Motor Company of Canada Limited.
Bill McCreary drops the puck in at center ice, and the Canadiens and the Maple Leafs are underway for the second time this season. Canadiens at home defeated the Leafs 5-1 in their first meeting. That was in Montreal, of course. The goaltenders in this hockey game tonight for the Canadiens is 23-year-old Jocelyn Thibault, his third season with Montreal. And his goals against now is 2.51 in 32 games. Felix Potvin has played 45 games for the Maple Leafs. His record at home is 7-11-3. His goals against 2.89. Brisebois, number 43 for the Canadiens, has Dave Manson, 22, shooting it all the way down the ice, but they wave off any icing. Gotta get used to that, Harry. Maple Leafs, Modine shooting it in. Number 19. And play call.
Jocelyn Thibault played the third period of the game. The Canadiens lost to Pittsburgh Wednesday night on home ice. There you see the sixth defenseman with Vladimir Malakoff, obvious absentee, and also missing Mark Bureau along with Shane Corson I mentioned. Bureau a late scratch, so Mick Vakota takes his place with Stevenson and Bordelot.
This guy's done a good job, Dick. His goals against average is down. I always credit the coaches for that.
Koivu has Brunet and Recchi. Sundin for the Maple Leafs wins the draw. The shot from the line by Smith is knocked down and cleared out, and Recchi won't catch up to it. Toronto with a puck in the center ice area. Beresin threw a pass ahead across the line. Johnson slapped it in for Sundin. Johnson takes it again. Left it on the boards. Johnson comes in trying to get it loose. It is Sundin. Had it on his skate. Didn't know it. Leaves keep it in though. At close quarters in there. Near the Montreal net. Now it's fired near the line, and it does get out. Brunet circles back. All the way back. Just underway, a minute 20 into the first period. No score. Quintal from center ice. Picked up a loose puck, got it in there for Koivu. He's very tricky, and was nailed by Smith. The Leafs are down. Warner on the outside. He threw it back into the center. Off the outside of the post. Domi nearly potting one on his first shift. He's on it again. Domi all fired up. Did get it out front, and Savage for the Canadiens. Up the center. Savage winds up. He can't get a shot through. It hit McCown. Went right in there for Potvin. Savage centered it, however. Warner again for Toronto. Across the ice with a long shoot in. Thibault was out to make sure it got over on the boards in the corner. The Canadiens line up. Three of them. Rive, the defenseman, started it. Now down comes Savage. Dropped it back. Dom Foose going in. Penalty coming up against the Maple Leafs. They get the extra man on. The net is empty. Rive's pass was not a good one. And the play is called. And the first power play of the hockey game is coming up. And it's going to the Montreal Canadiens.
Okay, Harry, we hear a lot now about the so-called crackdown and all of that with the officials. What's your feeling on it?
Well, I think they have to do it. It's going to be a painful experience to watch them do it for a while, as we're seeing 8, 9, 10 power plays a game. But here's a good example. I mean, he pulled the guy down 30 feet behind the rush, and he should go to the penalty box.
Yes, I like that too, but you're right. They've got to continue now. Get the message out loud and clear, and then please, fellas, let's get down to hockey.
Korolev hooking down Raczynski. The last time they met at close quarters was in the gold medal game last weekend.
Power play here for the Canadiens. Rucky shot, big rebound, and Potvin got that to cover on the short side, and he held on to it.
Harry, I thought John Muckler put it well the other night here. He said it's going to be up to the players. Last night in the NHL, there were 45 power play chances in 3 games and only 4 goals. Edmonton was 0 for 13.
Well, here's a good opportunity here. Recchi takes the shot after he gets it to the middle of the rink. A good stop by Potvin, and even a better one on the rebound. But there's no question about it. Power play success is going to be the key to victories between now and the end of the year.
This is the first one in this hockey game for the Canadiens. No score. Manson shot. A weak one. And he broke his stick trying to get that shot away. So he's gone for a moment to get a new one. And not back in time. Here he comes back inside his own line. Penalty. 30 seconds gone. Korolev of the Maple Leafs is in the box. No score. The Canadiens, 5 of them across the line. Koivu will set it up. Shot is wide. And it's fired down the ice. Good setup by Koivu to Hoagland, but he missed the net. Minute 10 left on this power play for Montreal. Out they come. That one didn't click at center ice. Raczynski goes back to picking up the Leafs. Penalty killers changing up. A minute gone in the penalty. Raczynski making a pair of moves and then got nailed. Walker in on it. Breeze ball. Rebound. Pass down. He finds it. And he hangs on. 50 seconds left in that minor penalty to Korolev.
Oh, an old-time body check, Harry, at the blue line. Whoa.
I don't know whether that shouldn't have been a penalty. Chris King was the deliverer of the body check. It looked to me like it might have been a trip. Let's have a look at it right here. King jumps out at him. I don't know how much of the body was involved in it, but it was a spectacular collision, and referee McCurry prefers the obstruction rather than the destruction penalty.
We played 3:40 already. No score. The Canadiens on the first power play of the game. Face off to the right of Potvin. It'll be slapped to the line where it's stopped. Brown couldn't move it out. Canadiens getting close. Potvin down again and kicked out the left pad. And he did make a big stop with Dom Foose coming awfully close.
Well, Montreal's power play is number 2 in the league and number 1 on the road, but they're 4 for 41 in the last 10 games. So it's gone dry on them, and Felix Potvin's been a busy goaltender here in the first 5 minutes or less of the first period of this game.
He's had 5 shots already. 37 seconds left in the Leaf penalty. No score. McCown running for it. Put it on the boards. Knocked down. They're going to get it out. It'll be Sundin who'll lug it up to center ice. Just scoop it in wide of the net. Thibault out. 25 seconds left in the penalty. The Canadiens try to get it going again. They've come close. This play is broken up near center by Prohashka. Luczynski turning back. 10 seconds left in the penalty. The Canadiens having a tough time getting another crack at Potvin. 5 seconds left in the penalty. And the Canadiens, Brisebois brings it in with Luczynski on an angle. He goes in for the shot anyway. Hit a leg. Penalty over. Leafs have killed it off. Don Fuss at center. Savage is on it for Montreal. Going the other way. The Montreal player, Nail behind the net, is down. He's hurt. And it's Don Fuss who tried to play it out and got nailed.
Jason Smith hit him, and Don Fuss went right against the glass or the top of the boards and has moved very little since being decked. No penalty or apparent penalty on the call. But he doesn't look like he's too comfortable, Vincent Don Fuss, the former Leaf and, of course, the captain for Montreal. In his last 8 road games, Don Fuss has got 16 points, 4 of them goals. And here's the hit right here. Don Fuss goes in to get it. Here comes Jason Smith. And you can see he wrapped his head right against the glass.
Well, when you follow the Canadiens, this is an unusual sight. 5th season for Don Fuss with Montreal. He has not missed a game because of injury during that time.
Hey, where to? I'll just check my notebook. Stop! Follow that notebook! I'm not worried. Stop that car! I can get it! Thank you. Man, that thing's really taking a beating, huh? No! No! My notebook!
Toshiba Notebook Computers.
Yes!
Tough enough for today's world.
Come on, let's go.
Have fun.
Okay. Hi.
Hi. Medium coffee, please.
Sit.
Oh, and 6 donuts.
Now it's easy to pick up 6 donuts for just $2.95 at Tim Hortons.
Heel. Heel.
We call it the Donut 6-pack.
So how'd it go?
He's a little slow.
I got donuts. Seems quick enough.
The new Donut 6-pack. For just $2.95, it's easy to pick up.
Well, there you see Vincent Don Fuss, the right of your screen. And I guess they're going to take him to the Canadiens dressing room. We look at it again, Harry. Smith giving him the shot. And the minute he went down, he fell on his left side.
He may well have hit the metal stanchion between the 2 panes of glass. His head snapped back, and you can see, boy, he's in a fair amount of discomfort right now. And it wasn't a real hard hit. It's just that his head snapped back and hit the glass. Smith had his arms up, but it wasn't an elbow.
That play was stopped. 4:43 into the opening period. It's a scoreless game thus far, and the Canadiens can ill afford to lose their captain, Vince Don Fuss. Montreal has been having a rough time lately. Just before the break for the Olympics, and now into the schedule right after the Olympic Games. Montreal attacking though. Leafs get it up quickly. Sullivan is on it fast. Gets another chance. He was sticked in front of the net. Thornton for Montreal. Laid it back out. Poulin turned around and lost it. Modine trying to get set up for that big shot of his that everybody's been talking about the last week or so. He's uncorked some heavy shots, but he was checked well on that play. Down through center, rebound. Shoots it in. Sullivan takes it around the net for the Maple Leafs. Anderson skates right out to center ice. Winding up off the blocker of Thibault. Nearing 6 minutes of play of the first. Montreal moving it out. Quintal got bumped as he tried to get out with it. Dakota shot it to the far side. Zalapsky dumping it in for the Canadiens. Potvin played it high on the glass. It is knocked down. Dakota tried to center and did, but it was lost up the line by Zalapsky. Quintal. High one will get in to the glove of Potvin, and he will hang on to it.
Well, 2 changes in the Leaf lineup from the games they played Wednesday and Thursday. Zettler has been replaced by Markov, the young rookie, just up from St. John's. McCauley hurt his shoulder against New York on Thursday night. Tried it in practice today. No good, so Prohaska is in. Mike Murphy very happy with his team's performance in Buffalo, and thought that they played a little better than the score indicated in the Thursday loss against the Rangers. But he knows they have to win these home games if they have any hope of making the playoffs.
Face off to the right of Potvin. McCown had to move in a hurry and didn't. So the Leafs did not get it out. Now McCown again to Chris King. Threw it up to center ice. And that's an easy puck for the Canadiens to grab. Putting it back in was Henriksen. Zalapsky. With Quintal. Koivu. Off to watch him go with it. Quintal dumped it in. He was checked. Ricky is off. Bumped it on the boards around the net to Brunet. Koivu fell. Brunet tried to knock it down and couldn't. The Leafs get it out, but they were checked well and couldn't move on it. Back there is Zalapsky. Quintal leaks for changing. A little bit of room for him. Stick handle through 2 checkers and got it in. And that's an icing call against the Montreal Canadiens with 12:45 left in a scoreless first.
Beer drinkers may be wondering why I'm introducing my new Dave's Munich Bock in the middle of winter. Well, last year at this time, I was in Munich, where traditionally the cold, short days before Easter inspired its monks to brew a very special beer called Bock. Dave's Munich Bock is brewed with the same care and traditional ingredients, such as Munich malt and Bavarian hops. Why not try my new Dave's Munich Bock and discover why Bock beer has been a winter tradition since the Middle Ages? Dave's Munich Bock. It's not ordinary beer.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
Wouldn't putting your stars together with our 5-star rating be a bright thing to do?
Remember, kids in the back seat.
And buckle up.
Yeah, you wonder about the Canadiens down Fusa. Looked like he was hurt. Saku Koivu, Harry, they had a pretty good Olympic Games.
He sure did, playing on a line with Lehtinen and Solani for Finland. They were one of the best lines in the tournament.
Canadiens have 4 skaters up on this rush. The defenseman Brisebois carried the puck and threw it in for Luczynski, but he's covered. Maple Leafs will clear it out. Domi was dumped at center ice. He's got a little bit of a jump in the early going of this first period. And now the Canadiens are shorthanded for the first time.
Excuse me, think your disposable razor shaves as comfortably as his Gillette Sensor XL? Yeah. Well, try Sensor XL. It'll change your mind. After one shave with Sensor XL, we bet you don't go back. Because only Sensor XL has protective microfins for extra comfort. Whoa. And self-adjusting blades for extra closeness. Disposables don't. And Sensor XL gives more shapes per blade than any disposable.
Excuse me.
Take the Sensor XL challenge. Bet you don't go back to disposables.
Hey, I want my Sensor XL back. Hey, hey!
Wardlow got a hooking penalty. Interesting on that sequence. 2 players, 1 from each team, didn't have a stick. They were lying on the ice. They were floundering around, but Wardlow did, and he got caught.
This is Jeff Brown. whom the Leafs hope will get their power play going. Well, he moved it up smartly and couldn't keep it in at the blue line. Brown again. Tapped away at center ice, and Brisebois for the Canadiens will hang on to it and go back. Kill him a few more seconds. Gets it again. Now he's checked, and the Canadiens play it well. It's chopped in there by Recchi. A lot of Montreal fans here at the Gardens in Toronto again tonight. See these two old rivals hook up. Canadiens won their first meeting. This is their second and last in the regular season. Timo slapped at it. Lucinski has a chance, and he lifts the puck high down the ice. 1 minute gone to the minor penalty against Bordelot. No score, first period. 9 minutes coming up. Odin dumps it in. That is Jerry King stopping it on the boards. Couldn't move it very far, and it's out again. Potvin saw two Canadiens moving up, so he decided he had better get out of the net. Line was very close to picking it up. 30 seconds left in the penalty. Up across center, but outside. Great save, Timo. You know, Sullivan was up near center ice, and everybody kind of paused for a second, but no whistle, and they ruled he was onside and got a break.
Steve Sullivan, 5 points in his 6 career games against Montreal. Steps away. This was awfully close to being offside. But you can see his feet were on the line. He tried to come across in front of Thibault and then slide it in. Thibault had the bottom of the net covered, and the best chance either team's had is gone or not. Nice stop by a sprawling Thibault on a dangerous Sullivan rush.
Well, when somebody's in close like that, you like to see the goalie make the save as Don Foose comes back. You can hear the cheer from the Montreal fans here tonight. When a play is so close to being offside, just as well they don't score.
Oh, come on now. He was either offside or onside.
And we'll never know, right?
We'll never know. Only one guy knows. The linesman. He thought he was onside, but it was very close.
We'll try to get along, boys, here. I only show up here once a year.
Are you sure you're over that jet lag?
We want goals, Bob. Score them from anywhere. They're too short a goal.
We're nearing the halfway mark of the opening period, and we haven't got a goal in this one yet. And the puck is chopped out to center ice. Markov, number 55 for the Maple Leafs. Up on it again. Couldn't move it in. We've reached the halfway mark of the first period. Henriksen. Team's at full strength. All the way himself to center and lost it. Shot back in by and Potvin had to be ready. Canadiens are changing as the Leafs go back to pick it up. Chris King flipped it away to center ice. Henriksen will slap it in. It is knocked down in there by Benson. Montreal moving on a down boost back on the ice. And looking okay. He's in there to trap that pass, but it skipped through his skates. Henriksen showing ahead. Mahashka can't get a shot. He's around the net, though. Out front, now shoots. Thibault stopped that. Toronto with pressure. Smith. That's gloved by Thibault, and he'll hang on to it. 9:05 remaining in the opening period, and these two mean business tonight.
Dom Foose and Henriksen, two unlikely battlers physically. A great play by David Manson. Maybe saved a goal as he made a diving poke check when it looked like the Leaf player was going to walk in all alone on the goalie. Here's the play Manson made right here. He looks like he's beaten, takes one step and then dives and knocks the puck away from Prohaska before he can get the shot. If you trip the man without touching the puck, it's a penalty. Then another good opportunity. And the Leafs stormed the net, but couldn't beat Thibault.
And Don Foose gets a penalty. He went after, as you say, Harry, Henriksen. Maybe he thought it was Henriksen who hit him on the boards and hurt him a few minutes ago. But in any event, the Leafs are back on the power play now.
The Leafs went 0 for 10 on the power play against the Rangers Thursday night, and they're 0 for 1 tonight.
Here's this sequence that came at the end after the whistle had gone. Dom Foose stepping into it and really drilling Hendricks into his stick up high. He gets 2 for roughing.
This is Schneider. On the outside, Canadiens set up the box. Schneider again. Sundin didn't expect the return pass. He wanted Schneider to shoot it.
On your feet! On your feet!
Schneider's back at the point. It won't come back to him this time. He's covered for now. Harrison. And he's turned back. Down to the line again. No shot yet. Schneider. Now Sundin drives it. Thibault knew it was going to happen from that side, and he was there waiting for it.
You know, Harry, you're right. This game, as it's developed over the last few seasons, has become so much a game of specialty teams. And now, if we're going to see a parade to the penalty box, as the cliche goes, it's going to assume even more importance. I prefer to see the teams practice the power play. I'm like you, let's get some goals. But there's penalty killers out there as well, and they're going to have a lot to say in the outcome of these hockey games.
Well, on that last shot, here's Sundin earlier in the shift. He's in front of the net looking for a rebound or a tip-in, but on the shot from the side, nobody was in front. An easy stop.
Power play Toronto, they win the draw. Brown steps up. Bears and takes it around the net, threw it to the corner. Schneider had to be good to trap that inside the line. Sundin working from behind the net. Brown, Schneider, no shot. Rive, chance to clear, and did get it out off the glass. 1 minute gone in the penalty. No score, first period. We played 12 minutes. They race in again. Recchi got on the way of one pass. Schneider, back to Sundin. Schneider is open. Sundin put it in deep. In again. And Thibault stopped that, and the Canadiens are going to get together and roll it out. Here's Recchi up across the line, and Sundin got back, but he has it again. Schneider took a swing at it. High on the glass with 20 seconds left on the power play. Toronto. They handled the puck all right, but nobody wanted to blast the shot. Wyszynski got back. Couldn't get it out. King played it over this near side. And Brown's shot is blocked. And the Canadiens pull off the penalty by getting it out. Brunet was up. Wyszynski is offside. 6:58 remaining in the first period. Still no score.
Where can you see celebrity hosts?
I'm having such a blast.
Don't worry about the hair. We'll do something.
See big music acts like Prairie Oyster, Leahy, Jack Soul, the cast of Rent, Great Big Sea, and Deborah Cox. Go behind the scenes.
Haven't seen that many long faces since Harold and I rewired the lodge.
There's even a surprise guest or two.
Oh, Graham, you finally got yourself a steady job.
Everything you want and more. The 9 o'clock show premieres Wednesday on CBC.
Sunday, an animated tale of romance and courage. Pocahontas, followed by the Gemini Awards live from Toronto.
6:58 to go in the first. Leafs and Canadiens still scoreless. Here's Katrina Lemay-Doan, who was magnificent in Nagano with a gold and a bronze. How's the Whirlwind Tour going?
It's going well. We're having lots of fun. It was especially fun on Thursday night, dropping the puck and talking to Gretzky, getting the kiss on the cheek was great.
Have you had a moment to draw a breath yet?
Today was a nice relaxing day, and then just watching the game again, the Gemini Awards tomorrow night.
So you're busy. Good to see you again. Congratulations on your performance in Nagano.
Thank you very much.
Bob.
Right, Scott, and another penalty being called, with the Canadiens coming very close to getting a good scoring chance, but nobody's been able to bag one in this yet.
Kind of misconduct coming up here as well, I do believe.
Or an unsportsmanlike.
Yeah, whatever.
One of the two. There's 2 penalties given. McCowan gets the first one for holding as he tackles the Montreal player there and then complains about it, or somebody complained about it. And so it looks like a 4-minute sentence for Jamie McCowan.
Okay, Scott mentioned performance at the Olympics. Let me, as a neutral observer, the only member of our on-air crew who wasn't over there, let me be neutral about this as best I can. I spent the first half of the games watching the CBC, and then the Irvins took a holiday where I could only get the American feed. Let me tell you guys, it was no contest. So I want to congratulate everybody who was associated with it. We showed them, I think, they showed me that the Canadians did it a lot better, and you're to be congratulated, everybody, and this crew and everybody else, for just some great coverage of what was, I guess, Harry, a pretty great event for all of you.
Well, I certainly enjoyed it. I know Bob did. Now, the Leafs are not going to enjoy this situation,
Yeah.
Bob. It was not McCowan who got the second penalty. It was Brown who wouldn't stop talking, and McCurry had no patience. He's got the jet lag, too.
All right. So a great chance for Montreal. Draw first blood. Recchi. Quick pass. And then some shot went into the crowd all right. But right at the big pass. And he coughed it up. Eventually did. Sundin racing away and feeding it in deep. Minute 35 left in the double minors against some Maple Leafs. Canadians moving up. They've had 1 shot so far. Koivu straight across the ice with a pass. Recchi is back at the line now on an angle, and Manson is at the blue line straight on. They go in deep. Koivu on the puck. Got it back to Recchi. Koivu is open in the big circle to the left of the Leaf net. Recchi goes the other way. Shot, broken stick again. Canadians are going to have to check the lumber. That's 2 on shots. Koivu back to the line of Recchi. Manson open, drives it, knocked down, Koivu, can't get a shot through. 50 seconds left on this 2-man advantage. No score. Recchi shot off the leg and wide. Savage won't keep it in. 40 seconds left. In the minor penalties, McCown and Brown are in the box. The Canadians can't score. They're up to try it again. Recchi is checked. Hangs on to it. Sundin hit him a second time. He still has it. Recchi to the line and now gets open. Manson feeds it in to Recchi. And it turned. And now he moves in. Around the net. Got it out. Manson at the line. No shot from him. 12 seconds left in the 2 penalties. Manson running out of patience. Fired it in. Back to Dunfus. Scramble. Knocked away. And the Leafs are going to kill him off. Even though he's been on a long time, and I know he's dog-tired, but he got the big Leaf captain and held on to him. Montreal and Toronto scoreless in the first. They're at full strength. Listen to the crowd, will you? Chris King dropped it. One after it. Upended penalty coming up. Montreal. And they're going to switch the power plays now with 4:04 remaining in the first period.
What can happen when you're automatically enrolled in the best savings program for business we've ever offered? Advantage Optimum from Bell. Very simply, the best savings for business we've ever offered.
Hi, honey. Come see what we did while you were away.
You painted.
Confetti white. Solitary white. Scrimshaw?
White.
Well, awkward.
Quality paint that goes on easily. Home Hardware Beauty Tone comes in over 1,000 fashionable colors. And with our no quibble guarantee.
Home Hardware. Help is close to home. Good job. Nice color.
This is what can happen when you get the same low price for toll-free calling as you do for long distance. Advantage Optimum from Bell. Very simply, the best savings for business we've ever offered.
Zalapski picks up a holding penalty here as he grabbed the Leaf player trying to get to the puck. Chris King. Let me show you a little bit of this penalty killing. The Leafs did a great job. Remember, Brown and McCowan, 2 defensemen, were in there. So you see Markov out here at a critical situation, killing off part of this penalty. Montreal had 1 decent shot on goal in a full 2-minute double minor penalty.
Brisebois did not get it by Schneider. Brisebois rolls it in. No score first period, and it's winding down, but it's been a great pace. Brisebois stopped. Schneider with Sundin. Barlow hangs onto it. Back to Brown. Big Sundin trying to set it up now on this power play. Put it in off the board. Schneider had to race in. Sundin will pick it up on the boards again. They're on the outside now. Sundin. That angle for a shot there. Barlett center. Thibault down. It went high and missed the net. Sundin has Brown at the line. Fired the shot. It's through. Thibault playing the screen shot well. And the Canadiens clearing it quickly. A minute gone in the penalty. Zalapski of Montreal is in the box. 3 minutes left in the opening period. No score. That is Markov. Called on the outside at the Montreal blue line.
Well, Freddie Modin, as I mentioned, the hottest player for the Leafs. 6 goals in his last 5 games. We know what a great shot he's got, but now he's added the confidence level he hasn't had. In the first 119 games, he had 12 goals. In his last 12, he has had 10 goals. Mike Murphy's rewarded him with some power play time and more ice time. So Fred Modin, one of the young players on the Leafs, that looks like he's maturing into being a pretty good one.
Modin wins the faceoff. Decides to try to go in, now has to go back with it. 45 seconds left on the Leaf power play. Nobody able to get one yet. Goal, that is, in this opening period. They have had plenty of chances. 38 seconds left in this penalty to Zalapski.
Well, Dick, if you're not on the special teams, you don't play much in this kind of a game, do you?
Well, I heard today in the game in New York, because the Flyers had so many penalties the first period, John LeClair played 3 minutes because he doesn't kill penalties.
Doesn't kill penalties, right. Well, the Montreal power play misses Corson. He leads the National Hockey League in power play goals at 13. He's on the injured list.
He and Malakoff has 5 goals in the power play. That's 18 goals so far from those two, and Malakoff's the anchor man from the point.
25 seconds left in the penalty. Rive might blast a shot, and he just missed the far post. Gary King for Toronto. Straight to center, gets the zone all right. Decides to keep going around the net. That's where he lost it. But here's Sullivan. Centered it. Chinsky is there again. That'll kill the penalty. Zalapski standing, ready to come back on. It's over. So this is penalty kill time. This first period, under 2 minutes left in the opening frame. Brunet trying to move it in and did with Rucky. Trying to get it back in front. Koivu is there with him. Brisebois waiting at the line, but the puck goes in deep. Koivu bumped his man. Roll it out front. Brunet can't get a good shot away. Now he centers it. Rucky was in too close. And the Leafs are going to skate out. Up to center. It's Chris King. Minute and a half left in the period as he goes in. Has to stop. Brisebois, what a pass right in front of his own net. Henriksen was there. He didn't see it. Koivu dropped it back. 1:15 left in the opening period. Montreal, Toronto. Canadiens won the first meeting, 5-1 at the Molson Center. That was in early November. This is their final meeting. And we're in the final minute of the first period. Now 50 seconds left with Henriksen skating out. Had to drop it back. 2 checkers watching him come to center. Town dumps it in, took a light hit. 40 seconds left as Quintal turns it. Got it up to center and nobody can move on it. Savage just had to try to shoot it in and he did. Canadiens changed one last time. 30 seconds left in the period. Lead pass. Domi coming in there. Domi and Zalewski bumping lightly. It's centered. Leafs can't take advantage. 15 seconds left in the period. Warner rolled it up over the line. Domi was waiting, had to get back on side. And only 5 seconds left in the period. And the Canadiens, looking at the clock, as can tell, he'll run it down by shooting it away for Potvin. Nope. Potvin was still there waiting for it. And this period ends with the shots 10-8 in favor of Toronto. But in this first 20 minutes, nobody able to score, and coming up is Don Cherry, fresh from Japan. He's in the coach's corner.
Been to some nice places.
Yes, I have. Singapore was terrific. That's Prime Minister something. See that?
Scary.
Fatima, big star. 52 countries in 2 years.
This new software I've installed, it's gonna save your life. It's called Lotus Notes. Lets you collaborate on projects all over the world. You never have to leave the office. It's gonna be great to have you around.
I'm making this up as I go along. Which way do I turn? I'm not really sure. But I've had some help. So I know we'll make it. One step at a time.
We take the time to understand what really matters in your life. Investors Group.
This time, I'll be Jolie, and you be Wickenheiser. Jolie picks up the puck. She skates over the blue line, and it's a drop pass for Wickenheiser. Wickenheiser gets the puck. She shoots.
Esso is proud to be a premier sponsor of Canada's women's hockey team. Heroes to a new generation.
You're on your way with Esso.
Coach's Corner with Don Cherry. Brought to you by Bell. Connect to the things that matter.
The new Advantage Optimum Savings Program from Bell saves the average business an additional 25% off the cost of long distance. Here are the business results. Of course, not all those savings have to go back into the business. Advantage Optimum from Bell. Very simply, the best savings for business we've ever offered.
I have the hit of all time.
Yes, you do.
I do have the hit from Prince George. Corey Search on Quinn Hancock. Roll it right now. If you've seen a better hit, now watch the little Suey goes up there. Is that the hit of all time? Now, I think we see it again, don't we? Can you believe Quinn gets up and gets 2 goals after this? Get up, Quinn. He gets up and gets 2 goals. Watch him pop one in here. I'll tell you, boy. Look, watch this. Pops her in. He gets 1 more, 2. He uses the guys as a decoy. Watch them coming down. Use the other guys as a decoy. I just love guys like that. But that's got to be one of the best. And here comes his other goal up. But don't you admire guys that don't lay there like that? Watch this.
I don't know how he got up. He's an undrafted 20-year-old. Somebody's got to remember the name.
Got to remember.
Corey Sarich played for the World Junior Team. Great blocking shots and the whole bit. And thanks, Dave Barry is the sports director at CKPG who sent it to.
Come on, we don't have much time. Let's
All right, here's a couple other little tidbits. I don't know if you know, but you've been making headlines for the last little while. Here's one little cartoon that shows
I like it.
Rock'em Sock'em, Don Cherry with
the block.
Block MP, yes, and that's a clever little
Look
addition.
at Blue.
And here's the, of course, front page in Toronto on Thursday. Now, I'm a little jet lagged. You're not going to get us fired here, are you?
Listen, let me just tell you, I've had my say in that, I'm not. All I know is 90%, one of the papers here had a thing in it, 90% of the people agreed with me, 90% of the people on a talk show in Montreal agreed with me, and the Reform Party, the opposition party, I think Conservatives too, saying, oh, Canada, when the lady got up and try to talk. So that's all I've got to say. People agree with me.
Yes, you know what? You were right. They shouldn't have put politics in the Olympics. That was nuts, although I like Jean-Luc Broussard. But the funny part is 9%.
Starting it again?
9% said you should be disciplined by the CBC. And
Who are those guys?
The way I see it, enough is enough. All right, let's go to the Olympics. And
you making fun of Bob Cole?
No, enough. Frank.
All right, come on. I don't have much time. Let's go.
What happened in Nagano? Let's continue to assess it because it's been really tough on...
For the summer, I'm going to do this for the summer. So from then on, what happened? What happened? What happened? Because that's all I've got since I come back here. First of all, what I'd like to say is we didn't play our game. But don't forget, we only lost by a goal post. We lost in an overtime. And it's not that bad. First of all, we didn't play our game. We were too systematized. Is that how they say it?
Systemized would be.
Anyhow, we had that one that you like, discipline over emotion. You're fair play in that. We did not have the emotion the other teams had. I believe we had too many centermen. We had 9 centermen of all our forwards. Is it that easy to play wing up and down? We had too many of that. I also believe the shootout. I can't believe the shootout. The shootout should have been Gretzky, Recchi, Yzerman, Shanahan, and Eric. What the hell was the defenseman doing there?
But the Americans were going to use Brian Leetch.
I don't care what
Dave King used Jason Woolley and Albertville.
Dave King, excuse me.
Well, I mean,
I am telling you.
If you know you got a defenseman who's great on breakaways.
Oh, he's great on breakaways.
But in practice, sometimes you find out a guy's
I see.
a dipsy.
Well, I'll tell you why they picked him. If you want to know why they picked him.
I know why. Because the ice was heavy.
Wait a minute. The ice was heavy.
That was the reason.
Please, don't insult my intelligence.
Well, that's what Mark Crawford said.
Just a minute. They picked him because he could knock plates out.
Yeah.
That's it. Well, Hasek wasn't a plate. Anyhow, you don't have the greatest goal scorer in the world sitting on the bench. You don't have Yzerman, 60-goal scorer, sitting on the bench. I love Fleury, and I love the rest of the guys. And Recchi, 40 goals automatic every year. Yzerman and Shanahan and them all. That's the way it should be. But the thing is, we didn't hit. That is the big thing. Yeah. We didn't hit. That is the big thing. We did not play our game. We pulled back. Every hockey player I talked to and every guy I talked to, we didn't attack. We didn't attack. We didn't play our game. But don't forget, we only lost by 1. But I can't believe when I come back here, the feeding frenzy of the media. You know how bad we are. Talk shows, we're awful and everything. And you've been trying to get me to do this, show this here for a long time, haven't you?
Definitely.
You said, show it.
Because you brought it up at the time, and I thought it was great.
I said, no, I'm going to hold it. And why did I say I was going to hold it?
Because you thought Canada might have a tough time.
And I knew we were going to do this, and I hate to say it, I left it to the last minute. Now, what I want to say here is about the States. The States in the world, how about the MVP for the National was Larry Walker, foreigner. Right?
Yeah.
All right, good boy. I love the guy. Should have been Canadian Athlete of the Year. Now, we have the most valuable player in the World Series, a Cuban. We have the guy pitching that give up the hit was a Cuban. The guy that made the hit that scored the winning goal,
was
run, just a minute,
yeah.
Colombian or something, he was a foreigner, and the guy that scored the run was a foreigner too. And you don't see the States saying how bad we are like we are here. I'm just saying, yeah, we lost, but we'll be ready next year. You better believe it. We'll be ready next year.
I agree. Edgar Renteria, Levon Hernandez are the two that come to mind. But and Larry Walker. So you're right. Thing also, that drives me crazy, Don, is this highly touted Czech team only managed 1 goal in the final and 1 goal against Canada in 70 minutes. So skill, as much Yager missed on the shootout.
And if Eric gets it an inch down and Reichel's inch outs, we're here. But anyhow, I got to end with this. I didn't get to my ice dogs, by the way. I'll get to maybe that next week. But anyhow, when I go around and, I go to Detroit, you have signs up like you've seen on the opening. I would divorce my husband for Don Cherry, and they love me in Montreal and here in Toronto. And I said, well, yeah, that's North America. You conquer that. But when you go to a new country or, Asia, what is it, and Japan, now how am I going to do over there? So let's just take a look. I happen to be watching. I look up, and what do I see? This. Oh, isn't that something, I'll tell you? Hey, look at it. Isn't that nice? Isn't she nice, too? You know what her name is? Saito.
You met her?
Nice? I met her.
Don't you think she just wanted to get on TV?
Well,
you really think it's you?
Well, all I know is you either got it, kid, or you ain't got it. And you know what you know. Yeah. You ain't got it.
You are a sexy...
If they were trying to get on TV, they might put your name up once in a while.
Well, you're a sexy dog. I'll give you that. Wines, Women, and What Went Wrong from Don Cherry in this installment of the Coach's Corner. Vintage Wines.
Coach's Corner on CBC. Brought to you by Bell. Connect to the things that matter.
Icebergs drift south. Humpbacks migrate to the north. This is the place where their paths cross. They say you can't see the icebergs for whales. Imagine that.
Introducing 8 hours of fever relief. New Children's Advil.
A tough cold isn't just up here. Your sinuses are congested too. That's why there's Advil Cold and Sinus for congestion. It's tough on colds like Advil is on pain. And now it's available without a prescription.
Advil Cold and Sinus, today's relief for tough colds.
The Princess Margaret Hospital Foundation Home Lottery is back. In the next day or so, you will receive this brochure in your mailbox featuring 10,100 prizes, including 12 grand prize show homes and condominiums built by Toronto's finest builders, and a fabulous early bird 7-in-1 prize that includes a 1998 Porsche Boxster. This is Ontario's premier home lottery. Chances of winning are approximately 1 in 20. So watch for this brochure in your mailbox and act quickly. Thank you for your support and good luck.
It was one of Canada's finest hours. Or was it?
I thought that Ken Taylor had actually spirited these Americans out of Iraq.
Did this Canadian really mastermind the daring rescue?
The CIA was certainly involved.
The National, Monday.
Monday night, it's comics with David Merry.
I peed in a pool yesterday for the first time in a while. I'll tell you, the other 3 people in the car weren't that happy either, you know.
Dysfunctional family viewing. Comics Monday night.
This is the place where the dawn breaks earliest, the new year comes soonest, where the Atlantic first meets the New World, the oldest city in North America, the far east of the Western world. Imagine that.
May 1945. The Canadian Army frees Holland but makes a pact with the devil. German deserters are sent back to the Nazis for execution. Canadians supply the rifles and bullets. Tuesday on the 5th Estate.
Back at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, where you can't beat Canadian boys or a Canadian girl that seems to have a true blue crush on Don Cherry as well. We're through a period of play here at the Gardens. They're in the first period at Edmonton Coliseum. Bill Guerin with the original shot, Mike Vernon the save. 2 chances there, and then Guerin will find Dan McGillis, the trailer on the play, and McGillis now with 10 goals on the year. What an offensive defenseman he's been for Edmonton. So 1-0 the Oilers lead San Jose in Alberta. We'll update that one throughout the course of the night. Boston won 6-2 over Pittsburgh. Philly by 2 against the Rangers in New York. Eric Lindros had the game winner there. Tampa Bay defeats Washington, 2 by Paul Yzerbark, 5-2 the final. Caps have not won in 5 now. Dallas wins again, 4-0 for Eddie Belfour, his 8th shutout. He'd never had that many in a single season. Chicago gets the 6th shutout from Jeff Hackett to beat Colorado 4-0. St. Louis wins 5-2 over the Los Angeles Kings. How about LA? They're having a great season. Carolina has the jump on New Jersey. Keith Primo, back from Japan, has the lone goal of that game. Tonight they honor the Big Bomber and the Chief, George Armstrong. What a beautiful guy. And Charlie Conacher, one of the great goal scorers in Toronto history. Back to the Gardens on Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC.
Future Look, brought to you by Ford Motor Company of Canada Limited, makers of the 1998 Ford F-150 and a proud founding sponsor of the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Tonight in the skate edges of Guy Lafleur, a Quebec rampart is about to shine.
Well, if I had money, I'd tell you what I'd do. I'd go downtown, buy a Ford truck or 2. I'm crazy about a Ford truck. Lord, I'm crazy about a Ford truck. I'm gonna buy me a Ford truck and cruise it up and down the road. I'm gonna buy me a Ford truck and cruise it up and down the road.
For the last 2 years, Canada's best-selling trucks have been Ford trucks.
Eric Chouinard's the leading scorer for the Quebec Ramparts. In 60 games this year, he's notched 35 goals, including 4 game winners, and 74 points. At the Quebec All-Star Game, Eric was named the Dilio Division MVP with 3 assists. Here's a self-styled scouting report.
An offensive player. I like to score goals and
I'm an offensive player. Try to, get some points.
He has great vision of the ice, and he's strong on the puck from the blue line to the net, and he's an excellent prospect.
Future Look, brought to you by Ford Motor Company of Canada Limited, makers of the 1998 Ford F-150, and a proud founding sponsor of the Hockey Hall of Fame.
There's just one tiny little thing that might finally convince you that Fido is made for you. And that'd be the price of our Nokia handset. Just $50 until March 31st. Although it could be the extremely low price of our monthly airtime package. $20 for 100 minutes any time of day. Either way, we know you're going to love your Fido. It's written all over your face. Fido, you are the master.
At the Olympic Games in Albertville, we were fourth in the four-man bobsleigh competition. 11 100ths of a second out of a bronze medal. I was extremely disappointed in myself. At the finish area, I stood there stunned. I felt like I let the whole country down. It was a very lonely moment. But when I arrived at the airport, there was a huge crowd of people there to greet me. Right up front was a little boy. His name is Brandon. He was holding up a sign, and it said, "Chris, you're #1." Seeing Brandon right up front there really hit me hard. It was then that I realized it's not about winning or losing. It's about your outlook on life. And Brandon has the attitude of a champion. Since that day, Brandon and I have become good friends. Thank you, Brandon. You taught me what the spirit of sport is really all about. I'll be there when you participate in your Olympics.
It's Jack.
You're a good man, Jack. Buy yourself something frilly.
Casino-rama. We deal excitement. Big time.
This portion of Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC is brought to you by Ford Motor Company of Canada Limited. Next Saturday, from coast to coast, 3 great games early. The Dominator visits Montreal. Theo Fleury takes on the Senators. Or Matt Sundin hosts the Oilers. Then it's on to Vancouver, where the new-look Canucks host Tampa Bay.
All the big guns gonna shoot out the lights. The place will be rocking 'cause it's Saturday night.
With 10 goals in his last 12 games, here is the red-hot Frederic Modin. Although, Frederic, it looks like the Canadiens aren't going to make it easy for you to continue the streak tonight. Do you agree?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They've had a lot of good chances, especially on the 3-on-5 there. But our penalty killing has been excellent so far, and hopefully we will keep that up.
You feel rested after the Olympic break?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We had 9 days off there, so it feels good.
Thank you for your time, Frederic.
No problem. Thanks.
All right, the second period is underway here at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. No score. Leafs and the Canadiens, and it's knocked to one side by Domi. He dropped it behind the net a second time. Nobody could move it out. Domfus shaken up with a hit in the first period. Appears to be okay up on this rush for Montreal. Ian Rutschinski. It'll be cleared, though, out to center ice. The two teams each had 3 power plays in the first 20 minutes. Each had 5 shots. Power plays aren't working. Korolev just passed one up through center. Johnson fronted back. Thibault seems to be playing these angles in great style now. I'm sure getting a lot of help from the veteran Andy Moog.
Well, Berezin comes in, takes a nice little pass, from Johnson and the wrong wing, and you're right, Bob. Thibault gets over very quickly to cut the angle down and kind of dares you to beat him. Here's the pass. Johnson coming up, and he drops the puck right here. And then on the inside, because it's on his wrong wing, and look where Thibault is. He just says, if you can beat me, you got to go.
Johnson trying to center one. He saw Smith come in off the line. All the way back is Smith. With the goalie Potvin playing it over. Count couldn't clear, and he was bumped from behind. And the Canadiens send in the forecheckers. Koivu left it for Recchi. Smith is all over him. Recchi, though, appears to be strong in on the boards. Took it away with a skate from the big Leaf defenseman. Penalty coming up. Got to be against Montreal.
Minutes for hooking. Brisebois, is it? No, Brunet. Here's the hook on McCowan. He hooks him almost off his feet for the Leafs power play. 0 for 3 will get another chance to put them ahead.
Number 17, Benoit Brunet. 2 minutes for hooking. Time 1:43.
You notice that the Canadiens are wearing their white, basic white uniforms tonight. Now, normally when they play here in Toronto, they're in red and the Leafs are in white. I think the Canadiens are a little confused because they are so good on the road, or comparatively speaking, and so bad at home. Their last 2 home games, they wore their red road uniform. Still didn't work.
They need a third uniform, maybe. That's their problem.
Jeff Brown for the Maple Leafs. Sullivan's rink-wide pass. Schneider fired it in on the glass for Sullivan to pick up. Derek King in the corner. Modine, the other forward over there for Toronto on the power play. No scores. Just over 2 minutes gone in the second. Schneider shot finally. Rebound! They've been reluctant to take those shots from the blue line. It worked this time.
Get him on the net. Only good things can happen when you get a point shot on the net if you've got anybody in front. You may tip it, you may grab the rebound, or you may screen it. Any one of the 3 might mean a goal. Let's have a look at it here. The puck back to the point. Schneider just looks up and puts it on the net. And Frederic Modine, the hottest Leaf in a long time, scores to make it 1-0.
Thibault was down, and Modine gets the goal. His 14th. So you are right, Scott. A hot hand by this young man. Frederic Modine gives the Leafs a 1-0 lead. Power play goal. Canadiens attack thwarted again just inside the Leaf line. Yuskevich and Markov. They can't get it out. Apparently they did. Hammered back in. Offside call.
Well, Freddie Modine has now scored 8 of the last 14 goals the Leafs have scored. So whatever he's doing, he should keep it up, because for long stretches he hardly got any ice time, let alone time enough to score, as he slides the rebound through the legs of Thibault. So let's have a look at Freddie Boom Boom Modine and some of his goals in the last 2 weeks. Here's one against Florida. You did that game, Dick. Here's another one.
That gave him 6 goals in 8 games at that point.
He's getting them from everywhere, against everybody.
He has been scoring, no doubt about it. He has scored the only goal of this game so far. Nearing the 4-minute mark with Manson. Trying to find a way to get in, and somehow he skated right across the line against the Maple Leafs and did get the puck in deep. Markov for Prohashka. Covered, just got it out. Zalapsky made the play and gets the puck back. Bad pass to the middle, though. Way ahead of everybody. He has it again. Trying to get out. Bumped in the corner. Varlam. He didn't see Domi open schemes back. Recchi coming up there with Quintal on the right. Recchi straight in, centered it, and it bounced off something, went high and got away from Potvin. Great rush by Recchi. Spinning around the net. And the Maple Leafs shovel the puck back out to center. McCown clearing it. Nearing the 5-minute mark of the second. 1-0. Toronto leads Montreal. Koivu looking for room and nearly created a hole himself. But Domi took it away from him and shot it in. Brunet waits for it. Koivu going up through the middle. That's easily intercepted by Johnson. Zelapsky again. Put it high on the boards and got it down the ice. Toronto moving up to Sundin. Coming up the net with Johnson. The backhander kicked away by Thibault. Johnson on the rebound. Sundin with him. Center. Shot. Just dribbled by the far post. Johnson doing great work with Berezin and Sundin. Broken up by Brunet and he's racing down. Laid it up on the right side. Hoagland trying to get it back to him. Too late. Thornton moves up for Montreal. He goes to the net. Loose puck. Potvin, big stop. Another shot. Potvin stopped it again. He gets ahead. Toronto leads 1-0. The Canadiens coming close. Lively game here at Maple Leaf Gardens tonight. Offside. Two-line pass to Poulin. They'll bring it back inside the Canadian line.
Home of the Maple Leaf, where crisp, clean, and cold beer comes from.
The road traveled by the used vehicle buyer is getting smoother. With Optimum from General Motors, where surprises are avoided. Where you enjoy inspection, certification, and the protection of warranty coverage. General Motors' commitment to you doesn't end when you drive off. It begins. Relax. The road ahead is Optimum.
We want to make it perfectly clear. You'll find guaranteed low prices at your Canadian Tire store every day. If you find a better price anywhere, we'll match it. Guaranteed.
519 consecutive games. How many has he been really hurt for, played anyway?
See, I wonder about that, Harry, but you watch Mark Recchi, without question the best player Montreal's had the last 2 years. This year he leads the team with 56 points, 28 at home and 28 on the road.
Big giveaway. King. Thibault rescues that error just inside the Montreal blue line by making the save.
When you get a player, Harry, that splits his points, gets as many on the road as he does at home, that's why one of the reasons he's your best player.
Here's a good example of what's happened to Montreal tonight. They have had trouble with the trap the Leafs have played by making numerous passes into the middle of the rink that have been intercepted. And that one nearly ended up in a goal. It's a tempting play because the guy you're trying to get the puck to is in the clear. The problem is there's one or two opponent sticks in the way.
Shots now are 15-10 in favor of Toronto. Thibault alert again as the puck drifted out in front of him. Dumped in deep by Stevenson. That'll be an icing call against the Montreal Canadiens.
And again, the Toronto Maple Leafs didn't get a forechecker in, so they went into the trap. All 5 Leafs are in the neutral zone, and they forced the Montreal player to dump it in from the wrong side of the red line.
Well, off the top of the show, Ron McLean showed you this display of sweater-type sweaters that these two teams have worn through the years. I don't know what ones they were wearing on November 14th, 1931, the first time the Montreal Canadiens played in this building. A 1-1 tie. And they might not play too many more games in this building. A lot of people talking about that now.
Somebody said another year?
Next February, somebody told me.
Like
which is about a calendar year. In the new Air Canada Center.
Toronto Maple Leafs lead it 1-0. Sullivan up, speeding in, right in! Thibault's been sharp for Montreal. Give him credit. Leafs have been in on top of him several times. Nice burst of speed by Sullivan that time. Dumped in by Dakota. Toronto back. Here comes Don Fusto. He nearly picked it off in front of the net. Schneider lost it. Canadians are onside. They circle in the center ice area. Don Fus got away from Sullivan. Modin stopped by Don Fus. Savage went in and lost it. Backhand shot by Raczynski blocked. And the Leafs find themselves in maybe a little trouble. They relieve the pressure by shooting it down the ice right on the net. Raczynski went up there with Don Fus, who wants to get off now. But he decides to stay on when he sees the puck coming off the boards on the other wing. Savage is bumped. Don Fus down on the ice again. Knocked down. Sullivan fell on it. Puck is loose. Right in front of Raczynski around the net. Left it. Don Fus comes around the other way. Can't get a shot. Brisebois took it in. Crowd into this one. And they're watching a pretty good game between the Canadiens and the Maple Leafs, in which the Leafs have scored the only goal as we approach the 9-minute mark of the second period. 1-0. Modin's 14th on a Leaf power play. Back at 2:12 of this period. Recchi fires this one in. Wahashka waited. That was a mistake. Recchi is goal, trying to get after it. And he's slow getting up. Talking to the referee, standing right there, and he stays on and goes in looking for it. But it'll be Warner who'll clear it out for Toronto. Keep an eye on it. And forget that, he's okay. He comes up and nails the defenseman, Yuskevich. Hendrickson dumped it in. That's Koivu. And here's Zalapski. Good pass through center. Recchi wants to stay on all night. He's up there and fell. The Leafs turn led by Domi. The pass down to the line, and Warner comes up there, trying to relay it back in front. Domi is there waiting for the pass. He went the other way. Was intercepted by Quintal. Up with Zalapski. Just dumped it in off Smith's stick. Finally, the Canadiens get a chance to change as Jason Smith broke the pass up to Domi. Domi comes in, takes it off the boards, and can't get a shot. Leafs after it. Cover up. Canadiens do get it up the court. Now with a defenseman. Ribe ripped it on the net. Pump back at the angle on him. This will gather a crowd as we near the halfway mark of the second. 1-0 Toronto leading. And it's a good old-fashioned, lively Saturday night in Toronto.
Introducing 8 hours of fever relief. New Children's Advil.
A tough cold isn't just up here. Your sinuses are congested too. That's why there's Advil Cold and Sinus for congestion. It's tough on colds like Advil is on pain. And now it's available without a prescription.
Advil Cold and Sinus, today's relief for tough colds.
Just $228 a month leases you Canada's best-selling four-door sedan, the Ontario-built Toyota Corolla.
Doing it right. Doing it right.
And at $228 a month, the all-new Corolla's doing it right, featuring air, automatic, and more power with improved fuel economy. So motor to your Toyota dealer today.
They're doing it right all over this town.
Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC. The tradition continues.
Mark Recchi, as you say, Dick. Look at the hit he takes coming up here from Yuskevich, who came right out of the clouds. And I don't think Recchi had even handled the puck, and he looked like he was hurt. But he gets up, and who do you think he goes after? Yuskevich.
Canadians come close on that play. Montreal looks to be sharp, though. He had to whack it with a stick as it bounced in front of him. 10 minutes now gone in the second period. Leafs are the only goal. 1-0 power play goal scored by Modin early in the period. Ulan couldn't find it. Well, Hashka does. A fan on the shot attempt. It's right in front of the net and loose for King. Chris King got it back. Shot from the blue line. And Brown is harmless enough, and a penalty is going to be called in behind the rush as they tried to come out. The Canadians will be shorthanded when we come back.
This time, I'll be Jolie, and you be Wickenheiser. She skates over the blue line, and it's a drop pass for Wickenheiser. Wickenheiser gets the puck. She shoots.
Esso is proud to be a premier sponsor of Canada's women's hockey team. Heroes to a new generation.
You're on your way with Esso.
Craig Reeves in the penalty box as the end of a sequence, Harry, that saw the Leafs put some pressure on, and it all started with just what you talked about earlier, a Montreal pass, cross ice, mid ice, whatever, that found its way onto a Toronto Maple Leaf stick, and that set up this sequence. There's the hit by Rive from behind right at the edge of the crease, and he's gone for two, and Danfus and the Canadians kill another penalty.
Or hope to.
Yeah, are killing it.
Long shot. That one was deflected in front and missed the net. The goal in the game scored by Modin came while the Leafs had the man advantage at 2:12 of the second period. Schneider and Derek King, by the way, assisted Modin on his 14th of the season. Toronto up again. Schneider whacked it in on the boards. Thibault played it away, and Danfus gets it out and down the ice. Brown reaching for it, missed it. 30 seconds gone. The minor penalty against Rive. Schneider. Pass intercepted easily. Bordelot whipped the shot and hit Schneider. Yeah, Brunet up with him, too. Two penalty killers for the Canadians might have gone in together. However, they back off, and Schneider drives it in. Hansen can't clear it. Brisebois will. Bordelot comes up there. Dropped it back. Brunet with him. Right in front. Shot off the post. Modin can't get a shot through the crowd. Canadians come close in the shorthanded situation. 40 seconds left to kill on the penalty. Rive, the Montreal defenseman. And they nearly tied the game. Leafs move it up. Smith got it back. Modin shot, or King got it back rather. Modin's shot is blocked. King went in with Sullivan. He fell. It's clear. Poulan decides to go with Recchi. Pass the other way. Recchi intercepted. 5 seconds left. King out there again. This time he lost it. Modin recovers. And Recchi skates away with Rive out of the box. Recchi down the boards. Cuts around the net. Can't center it. Yuskevich all in. And he's going to be down this time. Recchi with the Jets on going around the net. And this time Yuskevich caught him. Knocked him down. And he gets the penalty for roughing.
Yes, it's boredom twitch syndrome. You're lucky. There's a new treatment.
Got boredom twitch syndrome? Get relief with Star Choice Digital Satellite Television. Over 90 channels of sports, movies, and entertainment, all with cinema quality picture and CD quality sound.
Hey! It's the Ottawa game! Thank you.
For a retailer in your community, call now. Finally, the choice is yours. Star Choice.
Cavaliers' body panels are made of two-sided galvanized steel and painted using a durable two-coat process, which means your Cavalier can take whatever you want to put it through, over and over again.
Need a watch? Tested and true.
Closed captioning of tonight's game sponsored by Chevrolet. Tried, tested, and true.
Dmitry Yuskevich in the penalty box, so the Canadiens are set to go on the power play. Here's Anaheim GM Jack Ferreira. Jack, big win for your team last night over the Edmonton Oilers without Paul Kariya. There's great concern that Kariya is done for the season because of post-concussion syndrome. What's the team's position on him? What can you tell us?
Well, right now we anticipate at least 2 or 3 more weeks until he's asymptomatic and he doesn't experience any of the fogginess that he has right now. We're just being very patient. I don't anticipate it to be the rest of the year, but I would say at least 2 or 3 more weeks.
Anytime you see a GM from another team in someone else's press box, you got to take care of business and ask him if he's got something going.
Up to watch some junior games.
All right, thanks for your time, Jack.
40 seconds remaining on this power play for the Montreal Canadiens, and they're trailing Toronto 1-0. 6:30 remaining in the second period. Manson with Koivu has to go the other way for Recchi. Good penalty killing so far by Toronto. Warner had a great chance. Warner, and the puck hit him in front of the net again. Manson out. Down the wing. Thornton shot it in. Savage is up on it quickly. Fired it in for Thornton. He made the play. That was intercepted. Brisebois stopped it at the line. Manson had to hurry the shot. Nearly took the head off of Korolev as he ripped it in there, and he had to duck. Brown. Korolev got it out. 25 seconds left in the penalty against Yuskevich. Dom Foose through center. Lead pass. Wojcicki. Stop that. Canadians keep it in. Look out. Brisebois. Stopped by Potvin. It's clear. That will kill the penalty. Been a while since we've had a Saturday night like this one. 5:15 remaining in the second. And these two are really going at it. Sundin fired it off the boards behind the net. Crowd chanting. The Leafs are leading 1-0. Under 5 minutes left. Sundin grabbed from behind. Keeps going. Keeps going. Shot by Thibault. What an effort by Sundin, though. Modine now the goal scorer, and the only one of this game. 4:35 left in the second. The Canadiens, Quintal, shot it ahead to his own line. They dump it in for Poulin, racing after it. But he's taken care of in on the boards. Bumped by McCown. The Leafs get it out down the ice. Now have to hustle, and King does. Couldn't pick it up. Thibault had to be careful at the side of the net. The Leafs steal it. Thibault down. He knocked it away to the corner. King got it back. Yuskevich couldn't find it in his skates. Now Modine. Boom, the shot. He missed by 3 feet. Kept in by Markov. Center. Thibault looked the other way. Puck was going to his right. Leafs pressure now. Another shot. Thibault down. He made the save. Modine trying to center it. Canadians are hanging on in there. Finally, it's flipped into the crowd. And they're going to nail him for that. Delay of game penalty. It was obviously dumped away by Bordelot. He's gone.
leather?
That's right. This here's the Subaru Outback Limited.
2 sunroofs. Nice touch.
I hear it has full-time all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Holds a turn better than a Blazer. Subaru Outback, the world's first sport utility wagon.
You know, the wife and kids would really like one of those.
Sunday, an animated tale of romance and courage. Pocahontas, followed by the Gemini Awards live from Toronto.
The delay of game penalty for shooting the puck over the glass, and the culprit's not a goaltender.
Watch this, though.
Oh, very obvious, but you've seen some that maybe not quite as obvious. Not called. Here's Sundin's chance.
Big Matt Sundin looking for his 26th goal. Thibault makes a nice stop. Sundin 8 from the National League in scoring, and there's a pretty good goaltender. He's got his goal sticks up there with him. Ken Dryden had hip surgery not long ago.
He's doing great. They tell me he had a hip operation. I came as a great surprise. Okay, we hope he's all right. His Leafs are doing pretty good tonight. Here's a shot, though. Right on a putt fans midsection. He was down to make the save. All right, minute 40 left on this power play for Toronto. They're up 1-0. Sundin lost it. Whoa, that was close. Brune behind everybody. The puck just missed him. Sundin is in again. Manson stepped in front of him this time. Schneider lost a chance. 1-on-1. Poulin racing up there. Coming in with a shot. Came off Brown and dribbled into the goaltender. 1:15 left on the power play. Toronto's Johnson down across the Montreal line. Rink-wide pass, and Brown in too far, so he just backhands it there, and Schneider rolled it up in front of the net. Johnson comes outward. He was nailed by Manson. Puck loose. Berezan takes it for Toronto. Hit it back. Schneider's shot into the crowd. And it'll be cleared by Rive. Down the ice. 40 seconds left on this Montreal penalty. Bordelot serving 2 minutes for deliberate delay of the hockey game. A swift hockey game slowed by that move, and he got 2 minutes for it. 2:05 left in the second period. 1-0 Toronto. They move it around on the boards, but the Canadiens get it out down the ice. 15 seconds left in the penalty as they rush back up. Cross center is Juskevich shooting it in. Sullivan missed it. King on it. Dean didn't quite see it in time. Penalty just about done. Sullivan behind the goal, falling. Got back up very quickly. King trying to center it. He's stopped. Canadian penalized player on the puck. Got it up. Bordelot fired the shot. Recchi gets it off the leg. Great save by Putman. He's kind of moving to his left and had to shoot out the right pad. And made the save. McCurry going to work again, I think.
He's going to call a double penalty here, one to each team. As young Markov got tangled up after the play. Here's the shot. Here's the stop you talked about, Bob, and this was a difficult one. And here is the start of the problem that caused the 2 penalties.
Mark Recchi has one of the best quick wrist shots in the league, Harry. He scored a few goals this year on plays just like this. Off the stick handle, quick snap. I'll tell you a player, if I was Mike Murphy, I'd play Steve Sullivan a lot against the Canadiens. He's played so well here tonight. He's been a Canadiens killer. When he was up and down in the New Jersey organization, he played 3 games against Montreal, got 5 points, 3 of them goals. And he's had a couple of good chances here tonight.
This is the best game Sullivan's played in a while, and he's being rewarded with more ice time with Derek King and Boom Boom Modine. That's a pretty good line for the Leafs lately.
So Thornton and Markov are gone with 1:23 left in the period. And the Toronto Maple Leafs leading the Montreal Canadiens 1-0. Modine the goal early in this period. Canadiens deep in their own zone. Hoagland played it back. Skates to the right side and takes the pass as he's in full stride. Up over the Toronto line. And get the shot through. Right in front of the net again, and the Leafs scramble and clear it out. 50 seconds left in the period. Savage is on the move at center ice, but he watches Hoagland go in to take the shot. 40 seconds left. Orlev won't catch up to it. Smith stopped it at center. Orlev circles back with him. Lost it to Don Foos. But he was covered in time by Jason Smith. He got it back. Manson. Big good shot. Here it comes. Putbank covered against the post. It'll be Manson again. Fires the drive right through the crowd. And it's kicked out. 10 seconds left in the period. Orlev fired one in front of the net. Canadians break it up. They'll have to hurry. Weak shot on the horn. And the second period comes to a close. The shots after two, 21-19 in favor of Montreal. The only goal at 2:12. Modine's 14th of the season on a power play for Toronto. They're leading 1-0.
Eileen, I reckon it's time I go into town and get us a new vehicle.
All right.
Leyland, what has gotten into you?
I don't know, but I like it.
What do everyday low prices, plus a low price guarantee, weekly sales flyers, and Canadian Tire money equal? Canadian Tire. Everyday low prices made better.
Here's Mark Recchi of the Canadiens. Mark, down by 1 through 2, among other things. Have you run into a hot goaltender tonight?
Yeah, he's played well, but I think their whole team's played well, and it's a great atmosphere out there. It's a lot of fun to be out there and playing right now, and hopefully we can come up with a couple goals in the third period to come out with a win.
All of us who spent 3 to 4 weeks in Japan find this to be the toughest part of the day. How are you coping with the jet lag?
Well, it hasn't been too bad. Thursday after our first game, I really had a tough time. I really felt fatigued, but the last 2 days have been a little bit better, and tonight it felt better than Wednesday, and hopefully the next game will be even better.
Does this feel like the greatest rivalry in hockey to you tonight?
Oh, it's great. Every time we play these guys, it's really enjoyable to be part of it. The atmosphere is phenomenal, and great to be out there.
All right, Mark, I thank you for your time. Good luck in the third.
Thank you.
There's Mark Recchi of the Canadiens, who trail the Leafs by 1 through 2 periods. Stand by for the Satellite Hot Stove. That's next on Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC.
They definitely have the edge. Because certified general accountants have the qualities that business, governments, and individuals are looking for. You could say that their professional contributions represent valuable assets. In fact, CGAs are highly prized. Perhaps that's why they have such a following. Just 10 of over 25,000 certified general accountants. We're the name brand for business in Canada.
My job basically is to get the best everyday low price for my customers. That's Walmart. We want to be lower than our competition's sale price every day. We go to the manufacturers and work with them to get the best prices. I know how tough it is on parents. Mom, I have to have boxer shorts. You can't compromise quality. It really makes me proud when I see kids wearing garments that I know they've bought from Walmart. I've got better prices on some items now than we had 5 years ago.
Where can you see celebrity hosts?
I'm having such a blast.
Don't worry about the hair, we'll do something. See big music acts like Prairie Oyster, Leahy, Jack Soul, the cast of Rent, Great Big Sea, and Deborah Cox. Go behind the scenes.
Haven't seen that many long faces since Harold and I rewired the lodge.
There's even a surprise guest or two.
Oh, Graham, you finally got yourself a steady job.
Everything you want and more. The 9 o'clock show premieres Wednesday on CBC.
For only $2.98 a month, blaze your trail in a RAV4, featuring full-time four-wheel drive.
Doing it right. Doing it right.
Enjoy the view from a Toyota 4Runner with a lease of $448 a month and have fun off-road and on. Just check out your Toyota dealer today.
They're doing it right all over this town.
Sunday.
She has her mother's spirit. She goes wherever the wind takes her.
A classic romance.
Who are you?
Pocahontas. Pocahontas on the Wonderful World of Disney, Sunday on CBC.
The Satellite Hot Stove brought to you by Chrysler Canada, proud sponsor of the Canadian Olympic team.
With Al Strachan of the Toronto Sun here at Maple Leaf Gardens, Jim Houston's in Vancouver, John Davidson in New York, and Sergei Fedorov's $38 million richer. It could be $28 million this season alone. Al Strachan, you want to start and tell us what's going on?
Well, sometimes you think of the ramifications to Detroit, but there are also ramifications to Carolina. What they were planning to do was make the playoffs and make a big push in the playoffs if possible with Fedorov. But now that they don't have him, what they're going to do is evaluate how they do over the next couple of weeks. If they're not doing well enough, then they're going to try and make a trade, and the big one would be Gary Roberts for Todd Harvey.
Hey, Al, you know, the Carolina Hurricanes, from what I understand, it looks like they're trying to find somebody that they can really hang their hat on, and that includes selling seats, selling boxes for their new arena. They even called the Rangers checking on Wayne Gretzky's situation and maybe thinking about getting Wayne there. When the Rangers played in Carolina earlier this season, Wayne Gretzky sold out that building. My feeling is that Carolina is looking to find a star to put in the building, very similar to what Michael Jordan has done in Chicago with the Bulls basketball team. And the story that I've heard is that Chicago, you know, Jordan's going to retire. They got all those boxes to sell in that building. They may try to get Brett Hull there during the offseason. If that ever did happen in Chicago, watch for Brett Hull to wear number 9. Bobby Hull has said, listen, it's up in the rafters, but if Brett comes here, he's welcome to wear it.
Very good possibility.
Hey, JD. That really would make some sense, wouldn't it? Especially since the St. Louis Blues' last offer is only $3.8 million. Only $3.8 million. That's a lot of money, but that's not going to be enough to sign Brett Hull for the kind of deal that he wants. You know, the ramifications of the Sergei Fedorov deal will run right through the National Hockey League, but nowhere, I don't think, will it be felt more than in markets like Edmonton, for example, where they have some unrestricted or restricted free agents, Group 2 free agents like Fedorov coming up. They have a group of people that are trying to put money together to keep the team there. They might be able to scratch and scrape enough together to buy the team, but can they operate the first time somebody like Carolina comes along and makes a huge offer, an offer sheet to one of their restricted free agents? I'm sorry, but as much as I'd love the team to stay in Edmonton and this community thing to work, it seems that in perspective, for the kind of money that you and I have, JD, these people have a lot. But in the scheme of the National Hockey League now, they may not have close to enough.
Yeah, well, it's like if you buy a Rolls Royce and you save all your money, then you get it, but you still need the insurance, you still need the very high-test gasoline, and if something goes wrong with it, you need very expensive repairs, and that's a big problem. And what both of you guys are saying leads us to the Leafs, who are now becoming one of the very richest teams, because while we were off in Japan, they made arrangements to get the Air Canada Centre in conjunction with the Raptors. For those of you who live in Toronto, that means you're going to pay an awful lot more for your tickets. They're floating out the concept of license fees for each seat, and the reason they're floating that out is because they're going to do it. But the good side for the fans who live elsewhere and like the Leafs is that you're going to see a much better team. There's a good possibility that Felix Potvin will be moved, and it's like the Carolina team. They'll evaluate it. If they're not going to go anywhere, it could be this year. If not, they'll make a big bid for Curtis Joseph, as you were saying, another one of those Edmonton guys. In St. Louis, Al McInnes, they want him. Bring those two in. They're thinking of moving Matthew Schneider and Felix Potvin, so you put McInnes and Curtis Joseph with what they get for those two and the young team, and maybe even Ryan Smith, another Edmonton Group 2 free agent, and the Leafs could have a very good team in a real hurry next year.
But Al, they've gone through a period of time now, the Leafs have, where they didn't want to spend any money, though. That's correct.
Yeah, well, that's
now, you're
past.
saying they're going to, that's past now. Same with Chicago. We've all knocked Chicago in the past for not spending money, but their building's almost paid off now, if you can imagine that. They're going to have a good amount of money for general manager Bob Murray to go out in the offseason and spend a lot of money. And the numbers I've heard, somewhere in the neighborhood of $20 million. So this is getting to be a pretty big poker game during the offseasons.
Let's come back and address that a little more, because even at Joe Louis Arena, did you know that hot dogs and beer are up 50 to 75 cents? It's a big thing. Beer. Okay, we'll get right back to that after this break.
Once upon a time, there was a girl and her neon from Chrysler. Now, she loved her neon. What with its 150 horsepower engine, cast aluminum mag wheels, and tilt steering. Still, she knew all this meant nothing without the one thing that matters most.
Sports fans, Cinderella story.
The keys.
All right, we're back. Just to pick up on that Fedorov contract offer, it was so cost prohibitive, the bonus incentives, that teams, as you say, like Edmonton, how could they possibly get into it? What's the future of the Oilers? Jim, have you heard anything about the prospects of local ownership coming through?
Well, I think that they're coming around pretty nicely, and there are an awful lot of people there with some money. As I mentioned before, it's an admirable quality that these people are coming forward to try and save the team and keep them in the community. The problem is that it's become such a rich man's game that it's almost like they're putting out a tin can and looking for handouts in Edmonton to try and keep the team there. Problem is, $5 million from each one of those is people, and there's a number of them, and they are getting money from New York, and they're getting money from here and there. That's an awful lot of money to you and I, but it may not be enough because most of the teams are now owned by people who have much deeper pockets than any of these ones.
All right, look,
the move to Nashville is still a possibility too. We talked about that about 6 weeks ago.
We're a little tight for time, and there's a number of stories here. Paul Kariya is a very serious one. John, you want to start? What have you heard?
Well, I just know that Paul the other day, I think it was Thursday morning, had a long conversation with Pat LaFontaine, who's gone through, of course, all these concussion problems. You know, one thing that seems to be interesting here, guys, is the fact that LaFontaine's gone through this. He's back playing, has not missed a game this year with the Rangers. He's gone ahead going into the season and uses a much superior helmet than what he's used in years past. He also wears a mouth guard. He wears it all the time. Paul Kariya was not wearing a mouth guard at the time of the concussion. Paul's had previous concussions. The thing that I don't understand is why players in the league who have had any type of a concussion problem, if they don't wear mouth guards, that's their problem. They should get into that. Try and find a way to get the added protection. And for the guys around the league who have had problems with concussions, call LaFontaine, talk about the helmet, get the added protection while you can, instead of making the phone calls after the problem.
And there's a very real fear that he won't be back this season, and that's not an exaggeration, because the way they figure it out is you have to be symptom-free for a certain number of days. And the longer you go with symptoms, then the longer you need to be symptom-free. It started at 5, and now it's up over 7 days that Kariya will have to be symptom-free before he comes back. And there's a fear expressed by LaFontaine and other people that he won't be able to do
Al,
it.
what are you hearing on the U.S. investigation on the players who trashed their room in Nagano?
Well, they did a lot of things there that haven't got out yet, and we know who the players are, but we can't say it for fear of libel. We can't even put it in the newspaper and things like that. The league has a very good idea who it is. Dennis Cunningham used to be a New York homicide cop. If he can deal with New York murderers and get the truth, he can probably get it out of these guys. Talk to everybody who was there, and he's now on his second round of investigations to find out what happened there. It'll come out.
Anybody want to touch it? Okay.
Well, if the guys don't admit who did it, guys, this thing's going to fester. It's like having a toothache. If you don't take care of it, next thing you know, you have a root canal. And if this thing doesn't come out as to who did it and get it over with and just admit it, and, you know, it was a bad mistake. Guys had some fun, got crazy. They should just admit it and get it over with. If not, by the time Salt Lake City comes around in 2002, if the NHL's in it again, and I think they will be, then guess what we're going to be talking about, and that's not right.
Okay, Jim, final rumor, Calgary, Buffalo, what are you hearing?
Well, there's been considerable speculation that the Buffalo Sabres are interested in a center, Andrew Castles, because he's played so well with Jeff Sanderson. The two of them played together in Hartford. They had their best National Hockey League seasons while playing together. In fact, Sanderson has more points against the Buffalo Sabres, the team he's playing for now, than any other team in the league. So as soon as Buffalo picked up Sanderson, they started to scout Castles. They had 2 people watching him last night. Problem is, though, Calgary's not very deep at center. It would take a heck of an offer to get Castles, who's starting to play pretty well, away from Al Coates.
And
Rob Zaminer, he could have him for 1.2 at the beginning of the year. That's million, of course, in Tampa Bay. Played well, went to the Olympics, leading scorer. Stéphane Richer gets 2.2 million. Zaminer's asking price now up to 2.5, and he'll probably get it.
There you have it. Zaminer wants to join the nouveau Richer on this installment of the Hot Stove by Satellite. Thank you, Al, Jim, and John.
The Satellite Hot Stove, brought to you by Chrysler Canada, proud sponsor of the Canadian Olympic team.
Hey, Steve, look! Great moments from past Gemini Award shows.
Boy, the picture's not very good on that television set.
What?
I can sharpen that up.
No.
The 12th Gemini Awards, Sunday at 9 on CBC.
It's a land with over 10,000 miles of coastline, thousands of inlets, coves, guts, and bays. A land that lives by the sea. No wonder our dogs have webbed feet. Imagine that.
After 30 years of dirt and 30 years of cleaning, Moen's Life Shine finish with titanium will look as good as it did 30 years ago. Life Shine by Moen. Buy it for looks. Buy it for life.
is perhaps our most impressive safety advance ever. A Volvo that can save your soul. Introducing the all-wheel drive cross-country from Volvo.
Icebergs drift south. Humpbacks migrate to the north. This is the place where their paths cross. They say you can't see the icebergs for whales. Imagine that.
The big news is out. On March 6th, expect the unexpected.
Oh, no. Oh, yes.
From the creators of Fargo comes the smartest comedy of the season, The Big Lebowski.
Opens Friday, March 6th.
Freddie Modine has the only goal of the game so far. It's Toronto 1, Montreal no score in the second intermission here at Maple Leaf Gardens. At Edmonton, it's now 2-0 Oilers. That's Roman Hamrlik. Fresh from his gold medal performance in Nagano, Mironov and Waite draw the assists, and the Oilers now lead San Jose, looking to leapfrog them by a point, 2-0 in the second period in Northern Alberta. In Vancouver, Game 2 of the doubleheader tonight, and for that, here's Scott Russell. Scott.
Yes, thanks very much, Ron. You know, not so long ago, he was an Albany River Rat, the most valuable player in the American Hockey League All-Star Game. But Peter Zezel is back in the league and making an impact in the NHL with his 7th team in the National Hockey League. In the mid to late 80s, Zezel toiled for Mike Keenan's Philadelphia Flyers 5 seasons and an appearance in the Cup Final in '87. On to St. Louis, centered Brett Hull in '89-90. Hull had 72 goals that season. A brief stay in Washington, then Peter played in his native Toronto to start the '90s as a defensive specialist. From there, trip to Dallas, St. Louis again, and New Jersey. Now rescued from the American League, he scored in his first shift for the Canucks and has new life here in Vancouver.
Our fate is in our own hands, and I think that Mike has given us every opportunity in this last little while, and we've played well. We played very well of late to put ourselves in a chance to get a little bit of momentum going into this little stretch drive.
23 games left for the Canucks now in that stretch drive, and they have to win 16 to catch a playoff spot. Tonight they play Ottawa. Ron, back to you.
Scott, thanks a lot. Just an update. There was a beautiful goal just scored, but we'll let the breakaway expert tell you about it after the third period here in Toronto. Jeff Friesen has scored, so it's 2-1 in Edmonton. More on Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC next.
Help is close to home.
Kaya?
Yes?
Time to do something about this.
No matter what you need to replace, add, or repair, if it has to do with plumbing, you'll find what you're looking for at your neighborhood home hardware store.
So, is there anything else that you need?
Home hardware. Help is close to home.
Wow, what a difference.
Eileen, I reckon it's time I go into town and get us a new vehicle.
All right.
Leyland, what has gotten into you?
I don't know, but I like it.
Consider this. Are you paying too much for auto insurance? If you're a good driver, call this number now and save up to 20% with CIBC Insurance. What's more, if you're ever in an accident, you can reach us 24 hours a day, any day, and we'll send help. Does your insurance company do this for you? If you want lower rates and 24-hour-a-day protection, call us now at 1-888-722-6444. We're here to help.
Germany, a relatively small country. Remarkably, it produces 3 of the world's finest automobiles. One of them is the new 200-horsepower 30-valve A6 from Audi. It fits quite nicely between the other 2, the A4 and the A8, also from Audi.
Dennis Johnson racing up for the Maple Leafs to get a shot right off the bat to start the third period. But he missed. And so did Savage, missed that pass. Ruchinski carried on the hole, centered it! Oh, Potvin sailing back there. Stopped a great chance by Savage. Thibault has to cover up. Montreal back to pick it up. Scoring chances already here in the third by Canadiens. 1-0. Toronto leads. Koivu can't get in. It's centered and cleared away from the goal mouth by Derek King. Sullivan, good move. Hot shot too. Thibault had his number that time. That is Pintal. Lucky, no room for him. Modine, a good job. Zalamski bumped by Modine. But Recchi sure looks like he wants to do something about tying the game. He's in there, got a piece of McCown who fell, got back up and cleared the puck out. Koivu comes back looking for it. He'll find it. Up ahead. Leafs were changing. Brunet backhander. 2 feet wide of the net. Thornton barrels in to keep it in. Not for long though. Korolev slipped the pass up. Domi trying to center it. Another chance. Comes out himself and lost it. Canadiens move out. Brunet decides to shoot it in. Thornton can't catch up. In front of Domi. He backhands it away. All the way down to the Montreal zone. Canadiens changing to 10. Gone in the third. Toronto 1, Montreal nothing. Goal team to begin the second period. And Modine scored it. Kuczynski out there with Savage again. Pass was behind Savage. Cleared out of the zone and Warner shoots it in. Manson stopped it. Leafs changing. End-to-end now to start the third period. Brown, shovel run away and it got to center. Brisebois will shoot it again for the Canadiens. Bordelot out in front of Prohashka. Then Ruchinski bumped by Henriksen. Bordelot slipped it back and Manson shot. Another shot. Another one. Fast up 2-3. The middle one was blocked at the defense. Sharp save though, the right pass. Canadiens, a little bit of pressure for the Maple Leafs now, and Henriksen knows it. So he gets out quickly. Grab from behind. Play goes right on, and it's Brisebois stepping up. Brisebois doesn't get a shot. William Sands Johnson! Locked by Thibault. Dropped it. They want to keep this thing going. Koivu gets it up to Recchi. Recchi's pass. Barely, but it was called right on the line.
In our travels talking about curling, we've met some incredible people. But not more than this man right here. Meet Carl. Carl? Carling. Don't you see the beauty? Hey, watch, I'm taking a cap off of curling. Carling dark? Carling light. Dark. Dark. Carling draft. Ooh. Hey, what's your dad's name? Mark. Mark Ing? He's a teacher.
I think we'll return them for a refund.
Curling,
a great Canadian beer.
It just happens to cost less.
The road traveled by the used vehicle buyer is getting smoother. With Optimum from General Motors, where surprises are avoided. Where you enjoy inspection, certification, and the protection of warranty coverage. General Motors' commitment to you doesn't end when you drive off. It begins. Relax. The road ahead is Optimum.
Back in Toronto with an update from Edmonton. That's Bill Guerin, and he'll find Doug Weight on the far side of the net. No chance for Kelly Rudy, who came in after the second Oiler goal, replacing Mike Vernon. 3-1 now. Edmonton leads in the second, Bob.
All right, Ron, it's 2-0. Toronto leads in the third here at Maple Leaf Gardens. Modine in on both Toronto goals now. He scored the first, got an assist on the second, which was scored by Berezin. 2-0. Domi moved up the line, and Warner had no chance to stay onside.
On that play that led to the Leaf goal, Thibault had lost his stick, and when the puck went up to center ice at one point, he hesitated but didn't pick it up. And then his own player, Patrice Brisebois, knocked the stick further away from him into the corner of the rink. I don't know, Harry, about a goaltender without a stick, but the balance or whatever. But he was floundering down, and Berezan took advantage of it.
Well, I think he lost his little comfort zone without his goal stick and didn't quite know how to play it. Berezan made a nice play, deked the pants right off Manson coming out of the corner, and then put it up over Thibault, who was already early down on his knees.
Well, it was a great goal, no question. He had a look at the whole situation and knew exactly which way he was going. Toronto back to cover up in their own zone. Koivu in for checking with Rocky. They get it up, down the ice. It won't hit the line, so no icing. Zelansky turns with it. He has Quintal to his left. So they leave it for Koivu. Why not? He gets it up the center pretty easily, but offside called with Rocky just ahead of him.
Well, Mr. Cole, I am hoping tomorrow you, although I got a cheer from McLean and Scott Russell too, the three of you up for Gemini Awards. We're going to handicap these three guys, all good candidates. That would be a nice feather in your hat, Mr. Cole. McLean, you're listening too. You'd enjoy that. And Scott Russell out in Vancouver, we hope. What about a three-way tie and solve this problem?
Would that be something? Well, wait a minute. Brian and Rod, I think, are up for
well, that's a different
award.
category.
It's nice to be nominated, and everybody should be happy.
Harry, you and I'll just watch, you see?
Yeah, I'll be watching. If I don't see tears and us mentioned in the speech, I'm going to be upset.
Brune stopped it at center. Tough. Center ice area again, and the Canadiens find a wall set up by the Maple Leafs. They're leading 2-0. Why not? No room for Montreal to move in. Schneider fired it hard, got it ahead, but not out. Thornton set it up in front. Brune stopped. Coming up there was Popovich. And again, he made the play to Uribe. The shot is way wide. It'll get out and down the ice.
One thing the Leafs have done tonight that they haven't done every night this year at the Gardens is they've been very aggressive. And it's one of the reasons they're winning.
Bordelot backed up a little bit. Potvin out of the net. He's been sharp when he's had to be sharp tonight. Very steady. The Canadiens have had 24 shots. Hendrickson that length away. The mitt came up in his jaw. And a penalty will be called anyway. Hendrickson was roughed up a bit, and the Canadiens are shorthanded.
You'll know Mr. Sub is the uniquely Canadian sandwich store the minute you walk in.
Welcome to Mr. Sub, eh?
And to celebrate 30 years of being Canada's sandwich store, our classic assorted sub made with Schneider's quality is just $2.68, and our classic assorted combo is just $3.98. Buy one and you could scratch and win a '98 Ford Mustang, or even a classic '68 Mustang. So help us celebrate 30 years at Mr. Sub and taste a Canadian tradition.
We're here at the site of the Chrysler Minivan Freestyle Seating event.
And up next, Frank, is Doug and Kathy and their Dodge Caravan Plymouth Voyager.
Gene, here come the Easy Out roller seats.
And yes, they're loading it up from both sliding doors, Frank.
There's the sled. More luggage.
Talk about room.
A bear?
Another bag.
And what's this, Gene? They're putting this seat back in.
What a move.
These guys are good. Look at that time.
The 1998 Dodge Caravan or Plymouth Voyager with V6 engine.
For under $20,000.
Only at your local Chrysler dealer.
You're watching Doubleheader Saturday on Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC.
All players, Dick, have signature moves. Here's Dave Manson. One-on-one, he's a straight armor. He must have been a great high school football player because he can do this better than any defenseman I've ever seen. The one-arm shiver. And he just took a penalty for doing it to Darby Hendrickson in this game, giving the Leafs another power.
Well, the Leafs could walk away with it now, but look out. Canadiens are shorthanded. They're trailing 2-0. Chinsky looking for another scoring chance, starting them back up. They're not holding back at all with 12:15 left in the third period. Toronto might be able to put the Habs away with a goal here. Sullivan racing in again. Fly with the puck. Knocked down in front of the Montreal net. The Habs get it out again up the center to Koivu. He gets it over the line. Dropped the pass over in front. Recchi had to knock it down with Koivu. Koivu gets loose. And around a goal and out front. Nearly 7 up to Recchi. These two are something else. Look at Koivu. And the Leafs floundering a little bit. Finally cleared. Johnson brought it up. Left it up the line. It is centered. Stopped up the line by Markov. Sundin drove it in deep. Finally, the Leafs on the power play. They have another 25 seconds, but some time will be lost as Markov has to come back. 15 seconds left in the penalty to Manson of the Canadiens. Sundin. Rune covered him, but he shook him off. Oh, he got a shot somehow. Always stopped with the Canadiens, drive it out. They're at full strength again. Manson on the ice. Poulin shoots it in around the goal. Yuskevich takes over for the Maple Leafs and comes right out with it. Got it up. As far as the line. Waited long enough. Harrison got out. Clear the zone. Now he's in after it. In Corlett. Domi on the ice again. Now near his own line, going rink wide. Yuskevich bumped by Poulin. Round the net. Canadiens Kentown. Oh, dangerous move, but he got away from Warner and got it out. Stevenson is nailed. Smith using the body well for the Maple Leafs back there. 10 minutes gone in the third. There goes Domi. Shot. Got a lot on it. Nobody knew where the puck was. But Warner did. 3-0. Toronto.
A very weird bounce off the glass. Ty Domi took a bad angle shot coming down the right wing. And everyone in the rink, including all the Montreal players, thought the puck was going to go around the glass and maybe get out of the zone. But you can't trust the glass in NHL rinks, and here's a good example why. Here's the shot. The puck does not go around and out. It comes back out in front, and Todd Warner, maybe the only guy in the rink that saw what was happening, skates to the goal and is rewarded with a little 3-foot putt that Thibault has still to see.
3-goal lead for the Maple Leafs now on the Montreal Canadiens past the halfway mark, and they come up for more. Hendrickson going after it. Pushed off it. Warner from Domi and Korolev. Warner's fourth. 10:07 the time. 3-0 Toronto. Hendrickson. Poulin Rive. Can't do it twice. Stays with it. That's a one-on-one situation behind the net. Hendrickson will get a hand if he ever makes the play. He's going to. What is that? Two of them. And only the two of them. Finally, they get it up the center. Savage stopped. 9 minutes remaining. Third period. Schneider dumping one in. Canadiens out. Hoagland's long pass will come right into Potvin. He'll hold it. 8:39 remaining. Well, the Leafs have made it 3-0 here. Funny hop. And Warner against his fourth. We'll be back.
Purolator introduces a new business service that works around the clock. New 24-hour pickup and delivery.
Now you can ship or receive any time of the day or night, 365 days a year. Call now for Purolator's free Easy Does It shipping kit that can simplify all your shipping needs. New 24-hour pickup and delivery from Purolator. It makes shipping the easiest part of your day.
Feel the effortless performance. Bask in the total comfort. Relax in the soothing quality. And above all, savor the peace and quiet. As long as you can.
Take the bright side of the road.
The new 1998 Toyota Camry. Take the bright side of the road.
Sunday, an animated tale of romance and courage. Pocahontas, followed by the Gemini Awards live from Toronto.
Toronto Maple Leafs are leading the Montreal Canadiens 3-0. 8:35 left to play in the third period. And a noisy bunch in Maple Leaf Gardens tonight. Nearly 50-50 on the fan meter. Canadians always get lots of fans here in Toronto. Well, they love great hockey, and they've got a good game going tonight, these hockey fans. Toronto in on the attack, and Koivu. He's been dangerous every shift, but they're watching him closely now. Johnson is giving chase. Manson steps in front of him. Canadians just barely get the puck out. To Koivu, though. Left it, Morecki. Quick shot, another one. Raised the post with a second shot. And Toronto will hang on by clearing the zone. Under 8 minutes left in the third. Two teams are changing. That is Stefan Quintal behind the net. Shots 25 apiece. With 7:30 left. Gary King saw a hole, he thought, and threw the head. Galapski and Brunet get as far as Gary King. Galapski again, but this time it's called in the offside.
Well, tonight before the game, the Leafs honored two numbers. Number 10, George Armstrong, one of the great Leaf captains of all time, sipped out of the cup 4 times wearing the C, and Charlie Conacher. Now, I never saw Charlie Conacher play, but I remember my dad telling me, Dick, that Charlie Conacher had one of the great shots in hockey. Did your dad ever mention him?
Well, he coached him here, Harry, for a long time in Toronto. Yes, certainly. One of the first players ever to have people talk about how hard he could shoot a puck.
Well, that's great to see the Leafs remembering the past, and Armstrong and Conacher, part of the Leaf heritage.
Thornton shot. Nearly got behind Potvin and across the line. Conacher got the first goal here in Maple Leaf Gardens.
All you need are blades sharp enough to split a hair, a few engineers to design an aerodynamic sled, 1,400 vertical meters of sheer ice, the strength of 4 men, and the ability to keep runners in a half-inch groove, not to mention a few loose screws. Congratulations to the Canadian bobsleigh team on bringing home the gold medal.
7 minutes and 1 second remaining in the third period. Toronto Maple Leafs have a 3-goal lead on the Montreal Canadiens. Canadiens beat them in their first meeting of the season at the Molson Center 5-1. So this one, the Leafs have turned it around. Not done yet, but it's looking good for Toronto at this stage. Potvin has been solid anytime the Canadiens did get chances. And they've had 25 shots. Savage rubbed out on the boards. Wojcinski around the net. Trying to jam it over in front. Bordeleau fell. Penalty coming up against the Maple Leafs. Brown, the defenseman, is going to go on the trip. So it's not done yet. When we come back, the Canadiens on the power play.
Eileen, I reckon it's time I go into town and get us a new vehicle.
All right.
only true in fairy tales.
Leyland, what has gotten into you?
I don't know, but I like it.
There he is, a tripping call against Jeff Brown.
Bob, in the last 11 minutes and 34 seconds, since Toronto got the second goal that they scored, Canadians have had just one shot. It was a shorthanded shot by Zalapski. Mason Damphousse has gone back to the Canadians' dressing room. He's not in action right now.
He's nailed in the first period by Jason Smith and looked like he was knocked a little silly for a while.
6 minutes remaining in the third, and the good news for the Maple Leafs here is that the Canadians really need two quickly. Now they're on a power play right now for one. If they can get it, and then we'll see what happens. Toronto has what looks to be a comfortable 3-0 lead. 30 seconds gone in the minor against Brown. Manson nearly drifted that one too high. Johnson covers up in his own zone. And it's fired in the ice by Skivich. Tebow looking for it. There it is. His ball. Flipped the pass ahead. Zalapski, no room for him. Here's a shot. Oh, save by Felix Potvin. Boy, did he read that play and get over the cover. He looked great making that stop. 5 minutes left and the puck is into the crowd. 43 seconds left in the penalty now. Potvin was hot.
You know, when Potvin was younger and he would play the Canadians, he was a little intimidated, a lot intimidated by the guy at the other end of the rink who was his boyhood idol. Number 33 for Montreal. Well, that guy doesn't play for the Canadians anymore. And Felix tonight is playing, Harry, one of the best games I've seen him play against the Canadians.
Well, not only is he stopping the puck, but he looks very confident. And whenever he gets out on just outside the blue ice on where he's sitting right now, his game usually reflects that he's not too far back in the net. When he's out on the blue, off the blue ice, he's a tough goalie to beat.
Made a great play to get over in position first and then to stop that shot. To keep the shutout going. 30 seconds left of the power play, and the Leafs kill more of it by shooting it down the ice. And now as the Canadians are back to pick it up, 20 seconds left on their power play. Rachinski fed it in on the wing to Quintal. Bordelot up to take it off the boards on the side. Trying to get loose. Set up. Back to Zalapski. He had to turn around. Nearly lost it. Nearly set up a break by Hendrickson. Penalty is over. Brown hopping after it. Zalapski back. He just rolled it ahead, and Quintal shot it in from his own side of center. They're going to wave it off. No icing. Keep it going. 4 minutes left in the third. And Toronto with a big lead. 3-0. Gilmay out there again. He got himself an assist on the last scoring play. They helped to set up Warner for his 4th of the season. Thornton offside. Poulin was just barely ahead of him. But he wasn't there offside.
Home of the Maple Leaf, where crisp, clean, and cold beer comes from.
In Japan, the sound of the taiko drum says something very important is happening. Their sound is as distinct as their message. Introducing the all-new 1998 Suzuki Esteem Wagon. The Esteem Wagon is the latest excitement in an already great line of Japanese quality vehicles from Suzuki. All you have to do is drive one. Right now, discover the Suzuki Esteem Wagon for just $14,495.
Leafs look good with a 3-0 lead here at the Gardens late in the third, and the Canadiens are without Vinny Damphousse. He came back from a big hit in the first period, played the second, but they decided at the end of the second period to hold him out for the third. They believe he has suffered a mild concussion. Bob.
Well, Harry, you suspected that when you saw the hit in the beginning.
Well, you have to wonder how he talked him into letting him play. The amount he did play, and he appeared to be all right.
Sure did. Well, there's a hit on Domi, and behind the play, he's slow getting up. Vakota and Domi, and I think Domi was shaken up on the hit.
Well, Vakota's got the first penalty now. I don't know whether Ty's going to get one too.
They look like they might go, but I think they've settled it down.
They're all coming to Canada's Auto Parts store. The right place, the right parts, at guaranteed low prices. Canadian Tire, Canada's Auto Parts store, made better.
Well, Harry, the Canadiens in a spot of trouble, down 3-0 with 3:17 to go. Here's your play on Domi.
Well, you can see the penalty was easy to call. If you wonder why Domi didn't fight when Vakota's trying to go, Domi had a terrific fight Wednesday night in Buffalo against Rob Ray and showed me his hand after that game, and I am sure that the last thing he wants to do is hit somebody with his hand. It takes a week or more for the swelling to go down. It's not because he doesn't want to or he fears a little battle. We know he likes doing it.
Well, this game is winding down now with the Leafs up on top of the Montreal Canadiens 3-0. Dean is up there again. He got the first goal. Won't get a shot on that rush. Crowd happy the way things have turned out for Toronto tonight, or appear to have turned out. 2:45 remaining. Sullivan's weak shot. Listen to it. It's like the old days in the deck.
It's a great night.
Sullivan has worked hard all night. And you knew he was going to poke that one by somehow. And with 2:32 left, it is 4-0 Toronto.
Well, Sullivan gets a bit of a break on that one. He has been one of the better Leafs, there's no doubt about it. But the shot that Sullivan took hit the goalkeeper, I think, and then hit Popovich and went in. But Sullivan has been a problem for the Canadiens all night with his speed and his grittiness. And as you said, Dick, he's played some of his best games. Here it is. The shot goes off Thibault, off Popovich, into the net. Steve Sullivan gets his 8th of the year, and he's had a good night for the Leafs. And he's rewarded here with 2:29 to go with a goal.
Sullivan from Brown and Modine. So Modine is in a big man. Bearson now looking for one. Bearson again. Blocked by Thibault this time. 4-0 Toronto with 2:16 remaining.
Well, Steve Sullivan, the Leafs adding to the woes of the Canadiens. What started out like a pretty decent season, Harry, through the first 45 or 50 games, seems to be coming unraveled for Montreal. As we look again at the carom shot, follow the bouncing puck off a couple of Canadians. This will be their 4th loss in a row. I mentioned their home record earlier. They've lost 5 straight on home ice. And the last time the Montreal Canadiens lost 5 straight games on home ice was 58 years ago. That's a long time before Andy Moog was born.
And they play 2 more games on the road, Dallas and St. Louis, and then go home for 6 in a row.
Which normally would be good news. I'm not so sure.
Thibault again gloving the long shot, leaving him for Brisebois to clear it out of the zone. No scoring in the first. Modine got his goal early in the second. Here in the third, Bearson, Warner, and Sullivan. 4-0 Toronto, under 2 minutes left. We mentioned 5-1 Montreal in the first meeting at the Molson Center in early November. So the Leafs have them back tonight. And they won't meet again in the regular season. The count 2-on-1 with King. Couldn't get the pass. Another shot. Chris King was open. Couldn't get it over to him. Brisebois slipped it ahead. And it's fired off the boards to center. Count wants to try it from center ice now. changing. Brisebois. Saw Bordelot getting out there. Couldn't control the pass. Warner with a goal, and Domi coming in. And hang on to it. That one capped tonight for the Leafs. Domi bagging one. Domi skated by the Montreal bench and said something. That's the second time he's done that.
I think it was Sean. Goodbye.
All right, 40 seconds. Didn't know you had a nice voice. 34 seconds left. Quintal had to back off. They're trying to set up Domi. Oh, he nearly went right through the net with Thibault out. Domi stays on. 18 seconds. And the Leafs have nothing to gain now but a shutout for Potvin. Montreal has had 26 shots. No goals. And this one goes in the book with Sullivan on it. Shutout Potvin. Big win Toronto. They defeated the Canadiens 4-0 on a Saturday night.
Well, that's as solid a game as I've seen the Leafs play in quite a while on Saturday night. They played a good game Wednesday in Buffalo, but they were the more aggressive team and the more opportunistic team tonight. And Bob mentioned the tie went roaring by the Montreal bench with about 20 seconds to go. Let's listen to him sing that song to the Canadiens. He hasn't been able to sing it as often as you might like, and in case some of them didn't hear it, he's going to come back for the second stanza. The linesman didn't like his song, I can tell you that.
Well, you're right about a solid game, Harry. Leafs full value. The Canadiens had just 2 shots on goal in the last 15 minutes and 50 seconds of the hockey game. A great all-around show by the Leafs.
I gotta salute Ken Dryden because he's responsible for getting these two together a little more next time.
It is perhaps our most impressive safety advance ever. A Volvo that can save your soul. Introducing the all-wheel drive cross-country from Volvo.
He flew to 17 cities in 3 weeks. Flew to the top of the ladder. Flew his whole family to Hawaii for free. Who's he sleeping with? Weston. Choose your travel partner wisely. Earn triple Air Canada Aeroplan miles now at participating Westons of Canada.
Black John.
It's Jack.
You're a good man, Jack. Buy yourself something frilly.
Casino Rama. We deal excitement big time.
Toyota Camry LE is doing it right with a lease of just $298 a month. Check out North America's best-selling car.
Doing it right. Doing it right.
Or get your family into a Sienna, the Camry of minivans, for a lease of $348 a month. Hurry in and see your Toyota dealer today.
They're doing it right all over this town.
Closed captioning of tonight's game sponsored by Chevrolet. Tried, tested, and true.
Back at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, the Leafs win in a shutout performance by Felix Potvin. Freddie Modine continues with the hot hand, and Steve Sullivan also a spark plug offensively. The season series dead even, 5-1 one way and then 4-0 here in Toronto tonight. The Leafs avenge it. Alexei Yashin and the Ottawa Senators getting set to face the Vancouver Canucks. They're in the pregame warm-up now. That's about 30 minutes away. We'll have the puck drop at GM Place. And Brian McCabe, of course, along with Todd Bertuzzi coming over in the Trevor Linden deal. Vancouver's on quite a roll, trying to extend their streak now to 5 unbeaten. And there's Felix. He was really pumped up at the end of this shutout performance. The building was energized all night long. And Felix, I think that meant something to you to shut out Montreal tonight, did it?
I think it meant something for the whole team. I think Montreal coming in here, especially that we didn't have a very good game when we went in Montreal. And you know, these games are fun to build on. That was a playoff atmosphere, and I mean, I'll tell you the truth, I'm pretty happy about having a shutout.
Yeah. Did you shut out the Habs once before?
That was my first career shutout, I think. That was my first year, and
yeah.
You know, it's just fun to have. These are 2 big points. You know, we got to keep up with the team ahead of us, and I think Edmonton won tonight, so you know, we got to keep winning.
Felt in the first period like you made a couple of very big saves. It looked like Montreal was going to get the jump. They really had pressure in the first 10.
Well, they had a quick power play right at the start of the game, and you know, these are good when they don't score, because it gives you an occasion to get in the game right away. And you know, that was we reacted well to that.
There, that was a glove save you made, definitely on a rebound where they got the good chance. What other? Can you think of any saves that stood out in your mind as we look at a save sequence here?
Well, I think the one right at the start of the third period, the pass in front, and I wasn't too sure what it was, and it just hit my pad and bounced up in the air. So I probably, if they would have scored there, it would have changed the game.
You always hear the expression, the puck looks big. Is that how it is when you feel on, or is it more your skating, your movement? What tells you you're going good?
Well, sometimes you just feel like you get hit more, and that means that your position is better, and you know, you don't really feel that you're out of the play or anything, and that's probably the secret of every goaltender.
How about the break for the Olympics? What did you do?
I went back home to my cottage with my wife and the 2 kids and do a little ice fishing and spend some time in the winter.
Did you watch any of the hockey or just take a break from it totally?
Well, it was kind of tough in the middle of the night, but like everybody, I think I watched the shootout, Canada, and I taped that game, so I've watched the shootout, and it was a tremendous game.
Did you think, this is a tough question to put you in this position, but Patrick Roy and Dominic Hasek were both unbelievable for the whole game. I thought Patrick, who was one of your heroes, was just great throughout the Olympics. You feel the same way? And in the shootout, do you think he's at a disadvantage maybe because Hasek's a breakaway specialist, or how did you see that?
Well, Patrick definitely keep Canada in the game the whole game, and you know, I mean, he only gave 1 goal in the shootout. I guess Dominic, you just can't score on him on a breakaway. I've watched him at the All-Star break and at the Olympic break, and I think he didn't allow any goal in 15 shot or something. So, I mean, these are pretty good goaltenders.
How about the Canadiens and the Leafs tonight? Did you feel the electricity from the fans? And, you know, we think maybe we're overhyping it, but it just did feel different, didn't it?
Well, it did. It did. You know, as soon as you walk, soon coming up on Yonge Street there, when you come in the game, there's a lot of Canadian jersey in the street, a lot of Toronto jersey, and in the building, it was a great atmosphere tonight.
Well, you played superbly, looked good in blue, and congratulations on the shutout.
Thank you.
Felix Potvin of the Toronto Maple Leafs backstops his club to a 4-zip victory over the Montreal Canadiens, and there's the other hot hand. Frederic Modin scores again. Toronto 4-0. We're back on Hockey Night in Canada in a moment.
You're going down, Johnny. We've got a mountain of evidence, your fingerprints, a bag of money, several eyewitnesses. We even got you on video.
I did it.
What?
Hey, I robbed the place.
Have you reached a decision?
This is a tough one. I think we're still undecided.
Looks like another night at the Holiday Inn for you folks.
After Holiday Inn's billion-dollar renovation, everything looks better, even jury duty.
Welcome back to coverage of the 4-man late for the meeting race.
And Frank, we're here with the guys from accounting and their Neon from Chrysler.
Gene, look at their start time. Now that's a hair faster than last week.
Frank, you have to give credit for that 132 horsepower engine.
Oh, they're taking a shortcut through the alley.
Oh, a wrong turn. That's going to cost them time, Frank.
They got a perfect line through the S-turn.
Talk about working in unison. Look at that.
And wow, this could be a new record.
It's a 98 Neon.
Yes, with Arenado.
0 down and $299 a month.
Includes freight and taxes.
Only at your local Chrysler dealer.
Every day, the stock market changes, which is why at Trimark, our approach doesn't. Insightful investigation to find companies that will grow over the long term.
At Bell, we've made a promise to be competitively priced. And to prove it, we've made all of Canada flat. Introducing the Bell first-rate 10-cent savings plan. Now you can call anywhere in Canada, any weeknight and all weekend long, for just 10 cents a minute flat. It's part of our ongoing promise to you to always be competitively priced. Just call 1-888-377-BELL to enroll. It's another way Bell connects you to the people, places, and things that matter.
We're back at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, and as you can see, we're showing GM Place in Vancouver, where it's Ottawa and the Canucks coming up. Game 2 of the doubleheader shortly.
That's the way to attack. That's the way to play. That's the way to goaltender. But, you know, everybody knows I was a great coach, Coach of the Year, right? And I'll tell you the one thing that I had going for me. My team would go into Philly, or they'd play Philly, and they hated Philly, and they hated Montreal. And they were always up for that game. Then we go out and play, say, Washington, which is the worst. And they could have a letdown. My trick is I could always have the Bruins as high for Washington as I could for Montreal. Now the trick is, why won't the Toronto Maple Leafs be as high when they go to Pittsburgh? Let's hope they are. It's easy to get up for Montreal. As he said, walking along the street, the scalpers, $1,000 a ticket, the crowd going nuts. You gotta be up for everybody. And that's what the Boston Bruins used to do.
I was almost smiling when you said Washington, because we were talking about the story of how you'd go in there and steal 2 points, and never mind
the rest.
You got
Please.
a lot of trouble.
Cost me $2,000 on that one.
Was that how you did it? Is that how you got him up? Did you really go into the media? Or
I used to do it through the media all the time. What I did was Tommy McVeigh. I said one time, we got time for this? Pretty good. What happened was we used to beat Washington all the time, and they give us penalty after penalty after penalty. And I said after the game, instead of giving us penalties all the time, why don't they put, I saw a horse race this afternoon, why don't they put lead in our skates to hold us down? Well, Tommy McVeigh was the coach. He went nuts. It was in the paper, so and everything. And he wrote a letter to the editor of all the papers. He wrote a letter to Ziegler, and he wrote a letter to Harry Neal that Harrison and I should be fired. And I took it out and I read it to the guys. Guys, you're not going to do this. And then that's the way you do it. You get them pumped up because it's easy to play Montreal. This is a piece of cake to get up for here. Wait till we see when they play Pittsburgh, if they're as high.
Yeah, I thought Felix
Remember that
Jimenez. Who else shone for you tonight? Anybody in particular?
Where, here?
Yeah.
Well, I thought Potvin, that's the way he's got to play. I know he had some good shots, and Al Strachan and I were talking in there, and Al and we agree the big key was they killed the penalties right off the bat, just like Team Canada did and when they beat the Americans. It gets a good feel, the other team gets down, but they were going to win tonight. They were pumped.
We're going to show the Jeff Friesen goal here, John.
Can we show that, John?
Good.
All right, now look, let me talk about Jeff Friesen. You know, tell them what I said about Jeff Friesen a long time ago.
You said he should have been in Nagano. You would have loved to have seen him on the wide ice with his speed. And when he broke into the NHL, you were the first guy, although you called him Jim, the first time you tried to
It's all right.
him.
He didn't matter.
Yeah, he's a beauty. And
why would you say that? I called him Jim.
Well, I remember how upset you were. When you did
I was so embarrassed.
You were raving about him, but you called him Jim. Just struck me funny.
Good.
Like the Washington.
Anyhow, I love this guy. Watch this. Would he have been nice? Watch this. Short-handed. Watch this going around. This is one of the best hockey players in the National Hockey League. Oh, you're a wise guy. Look at this here. Wouldn't he have been something, that big ice surface? And he couldn't make it. Fastest guy, I say, in the National Hockey League with a puck. He's got those wide legs, eh? And he's a good kid.
Gilbert Perreault, that's who
Same way, but hasn't got to touch Perreault. But I'll tell you, boy, that kid, he'd have floated. That's a hockey player to me. And you never see him, eh? He's out in San Jose.
3-1 in that game in the third period now. Edmonton, this is a big game. If they can get, they've got 2 in hand and they're a point behind going in, so they're in the race for 8.
Well, that's your team.
Western Conference.
That's your team.
I loved San Jose, but I'm kind of now cheering for Edmonton. They need a break. Did you see the San Jose telecast? They did a whole feature on keeping the team in Edmonton.
Well, you see, this is the way it works. They're American, see? So they do a big feature on Canada. And we're Canada, and we do a big feature on Czechoslovakia.
That's right. That's the whole globalization of hockey. We're trying to help each other. That's why you came overseas, Tim said. You slug it out.
I can hear him on that telex.
I'll turn it down. Okay, let's go around the NHL. We'll show you some of the game winners.
Good.
If I was picking for the shootout, I'd take Ray Bourque, because look what he does here.
Look, you keep that up.
I'm kidding. Bork from the point.
I like Bork. Don't get me wrong. He's a good defenseman. He can hum the puck. Don't get me wrong, but he's not a guy that's going to score in breakaways. What are you, nuts? He's never had a breakaway.
Jason Allison had 5 points in this game. He's one of your favorites.
Oh, 6-2. Isn't that something, eh?
Some of the scores.
Allison. I like that
Pittsburgh will be ornery when they play the Leafs Monday after that loss, so they got to be ready. Here's Eric Lindros's goal. Poor Richter. He thinks he's got it here. But
Isn't this something? I can't believe. I mean, I know Eric's big. How do you like those new uniforms? They're not bad, eh?
Yeah, very nice. Anyway, with that, they managed to defeat the New York Rangers 3-1.
Isn't that a funny goal? Have you ever seen a goal like that before?
I feel bad for Richter. I'd like to have seen a quicker whistle, tell you the truth, because that usually starts a riot, something like that.
Yeah, no, Eric's so big. You notice nobody even said, please, Mr. Lindros.
Here's Jody Hull scoring the game winner. Tampa beats Washington 5-2. They were outshot badly.
Ronnie Wilson having a tough time, eh?
Yes.
Oh, boy, that's too bad.
I can see your heart broken.
Yeah.
So that's Tampa had really been struggling at home. That's the first win in like 10 games. So they got a 5-2 victory there. And here's highlights that Phoenix, Dallas, Jamie Langenbrunner.
That's all right. In the morning, nobody will know. If we hadn't showed it, looked like a slap shot. Dallas, look at Marshall. Grand Marshall, eh?
Yes.
You know, I can't only fight, boy, I'll tell you. That guy is something. He's a credit to all kids that are injured.
Eddie Belfour, 13 saves, all he had to make.
I got to admit, I didn't think Belfour was going to have the year he's had. He must have had a bad back last year because he's playing dynamite.
Jeff Hackett got the shutout in this one. Both these Hawks and Dallas have great defenses. That's the first Colorado loss in 6.
Well, you know, it's Chicago. I like the way they play. Bang, bang, bang. They play like my own Bruins, not as talented.
L.A. and St. Louis, Pierre Turgeon, Jeff Courtnall, and that makes it 3-2.
Courtnall, is he ever going? I'm telling you, he's leading scorer now.
24 for him.
Yeah.
5-2 is the final there. Here are this evening's updates. Carolina now with 2 for Keith Primo.
Boy, is he's just picking up Team Canada. He just keep going.
And as we said at Edmonton Coliseum, the Oilers lead the Sharks now 3-1 in the third period.
Good. No, I'm just saying, Edmonton's got to win this game, that's for sure. And they got to make those playoffs, and they're my type of team too, boy. I'll tell you, Edmonton, the city of Edmonton, they had a big thing talking about it. If they lose the Oilers, that's going to be, can't somebody out there come up with the money? And listen, if the money doesn't come and it goes to the States, you can't do any whining. Surely somebody with the rich people in Edmonton come up with $70 million. The other guy's paying 80-some million.
14 days, and I guarantee you 2 chaps who would agree with you wholeheartedly like we all do for people in the provincial capital of Alberta are Chris Cuthbert and John Garrett, who are in Vancouver tonight. Gentlemen.
All right, the Vancouver Canucks are playing better. A lot different team than the last time you and I saw them together. They've won 5 of their last 7, and I think Don Cherry'd like this rebuilt team because they're the Burrard Street Bullies now.
Well, they're a Mike Keenan team. Mike Keenan has the power now to make the changes, and he has made the changes. He wanted toughness. And not just 1 or 2 guys, he wanted overall team toughness. And you look down that list, and that's what he's got now. Not just 1 or 2 tough guys like a lot of teams have in the NHL. He's got team toughness.
Donald Brashear with a big night last night against Calgary.
And Donald Brashear played very well. His line got things going. In the second period, Brashear scored a goal from behind the net. It was a fluky goal, but they controlled the play.
There's Brian McCabe, who played 36 minutes last night. I don't think he got that much time on the island, but another tough defenseman for the Canucks.
Well, and he lets Jyrki Lumme have some room. McCabe is always back. Brad May now is the key to the power play for the Vancouver Canucks. He plants himself in front of the net, and this allows Mark Messier and Pavel Bure to work the puck around, and it gives them more room.
So the Canucks trying to rally their way back into the playoff race in the West. Right now, Ottawa is in 8th place in the East, and they need to score some goals to solidify their position.
Well, they really do. Tampa Bay is the only team that scored fewer goals than the Ottawa Senators, and they got 5 today. Now, you look at Ottawa's struggling offense. Sure, Cunningworth's not going to be a goal scorer, but he's been on the power play. And you would think if you play on the power play, you'd bound to get 1 go in, 0 for the last 27, right up and down the list. That's the kind of offensive struggle that the Ottawa Senators have had.
It'll be Rhodes and Irbe in goal tonight, and with more on Ottawa and Vancouver, here's Scott Russell.
Well, thanks very much, Chris. And you know what they say is change is as good as a rest, and both the Vancouver Canucks and Ottawa Senators have had a little bit of both, what with the Olympic break and all. But the emphasis here, as you guys talked about, is on change. Since we last convened with these 2 clubs, there are plenty of new faces in both these lineups as they get ready for the stretch drive to the playoffs. And the Ottawa Senators have done some shuffling to get beyond the 500 mark. Potential in Alexander Daigle did not equal patience in the organization. The #1 choice from 1993's draft is gone to Philadelphia. In exchange, Ottawa gets Pat Falloon and Vaclav Prospel. The young Czech has a broken fibula, yet to play for the Sens. Pat Falloon has, in 12 games with Ottawa, the native of Foxwarren, Manitoba, has 2 goals and a better opportunity.
Yeah, I feel that way. Certainly, I've been given more of an opportunity here already, and just a matter of taking advantage of it. I think this team's not as big, certainly as Philly, but it's a hard-working team, and it's a good team to be a part of.
Meantime, Mike Keenan is leaving an impression on Vancouver's lineup. Iron Mike quick to move. After a decade, the popular Trevor Linden has been banished to the New York Islanders in a trade. Jeff Sanderson lasted a mere 9 games with the Canucks, no goals, so he's off to Buffalo. Enter Peter Zezel, Brad May, Todd Bertuzzi, and Brian McCabe to make the Vancouver Canucks bigger and tougher, and already there are results. The newcomers providing grit and offense. Brad May sees potential for the playoffs, and he's also playing with superstars.
It's a dream come true, really. Obviously, we've watched Mark and Pavel a lot, and you know, those 2 guys, they can make a lot of things happen out there. So for me, you know, playing the left wing, going up and down, going straight to the net, you know, I create room for those guys, and we've had 4 good games so far, and I hope we continue.
An all-Canadian matchup, the Senators and the Canucks. That's coming up. Ron?
Thank you, Scott.
Looks nice cut on Brad, eh?
Isn't that something? Boy, it's great to see him playing well.
I'll tell you, he was in a funk, as I said, in Buffalo, and Keenan got him. That's a bigger, tougher team now, and it's almost...
I was worried because Mike's got a tough team, and he's got a shoulder problem that he had to overcome.
Well, that's what he's got to get, but he had to get with Keenan. Needed a little push. Remember that time Rick Jeanneret did that there, May Day for 5 minutes? That was really something. But they've got a big, tough team now, and they're not going to get pushed around. If they get any goaltending, they're going to be all right.
Let's look at one of your heroes in action here to decide the game between Carolina and New Jersey.
Kingston boy.
1952.
I asked to come on here. I asked to come on. What was it?
Yes.
Was it?
1952 of the 3rd period, and it's his 13th goal of the season from
What a guy. What a guy.
Sikora.
Look at him. I'll tell you, boy. There's nobody like Dougie Gilmour, and the old chips are down. Little tip in as you go by, kids. Get your stick on the ice. He didn't even see it. When you're around that net, way to go, Dougie boy.
That ought to seal that contract for him. He's
$40 million. He can buy Kingston.
New Jersey 4-3 winners over Carolina, paced by Doug Gilmour's game-winning goal. 4-0 the final here. We'll continue to cover both the story here and in Vancouver on Molson Hockey Night in Canada.
Hi.
Because you never know when you'll meet the girl of your dreams, you need long-lasting odor protection. Gillette Clear Antiperspirants help stop odor and wetness before they begin, and there's no white residue.
Thanks.
Gillette Clear Stick and Clear Gel. Long-lasting protection that keeps you ready for anything.
The more salty a car's built, the less it vibrates. The less it vibrates, the quieter it is. Shh. Speed 60 kilometers per hour. Sorry. Conclusion. Very quiet, which means our new Malibu is very solid.
The new Malibu from Chevrolet.
Welcome back to Maple Leaf Gardens. If you feel like you need a raise, I suggest you hire Mike Barnett. Wayne Gretzky's agents just negotiated 3 deals. Matt Sundin gets $21 million over the next 3 years. Jaromir Jagr almost $50 million, and now, as you know, Sergei Fedorov for $38 million. That's $110 for 3 clients in just over a week's time. Sergei Fedorov's the most recent deal. We wanted to speak to Mike about that, but also the fact that Wayne Gretzky played here Thursday night. We caught up with Mike last night in Windsor before the Detroit game. Michael, Wayne Gretzky's first game back after his first ever Olympics was here at Maple Leaf Gardens, and he received a pregame standing ovation. How did Wayne feel about Nagano and Toronto?
Well, I spoke to him today, Ron. The Olympic experience, other than the fact that they didn't come home with the gold medal, and make no mistake about it, gold was what Canada was over there for. The disappointment in that was paralleled with the unique experience that Wayne had never had before. Things like the Athletes' Village, meeting other athletes for Canada, being over there with his wife Janet and his father. All in all, it was a memorable experience, albeit not the exact one that he'd hoped to bring back with him.
How about the reception here at the Gardens?
Well, it's always been a special arena, as you well know. I remember 10, 15 years ago him going in there, missing a late a red-eye flight that was delayed. He was going in there for charity purposes, and on about 4 hours sleep, I believe, had 7 points in the first 2 periods. So he's always had some magic feeling when he hit the ice in Maple Leaf Gardens. Last night was a little bit more unique with John Muckler back behind the bench. He has strong, strong feelings for the success they've had together, and he mentioned today that it was just like old times.
Mike, he also said some nice things about Coley Campbell, but we hear he was a little ticked at Neil Smith's remarks about not being ready to contend for the Stanley Cup just yet.
Yeah, you know, I don't think Neil was taken in the true context of what he meant. You know, the New York Rangers are always going for the Stanley Cup every night that they put the uniforms on. You know, Neil may very well have been trying to take a little bit of pressure off the players, because when you play in New York, the pressure is tenfold, and I think if you ask any player in that room, they absolutely in their mind are a Stanley Cup contender.
Wayne's now 37. You know him well. How long do you think he'll play?
Well, he's always said he'd play as long as he can play at the level on the ice that he feels comfortable with as a contributor, and off the ice that the game has to be fun to go to the building every evening and every morning for practice. In this case right now, he's back enjoying it very, very much. I think he feels comfortable with how he's performing each night. He's really taking it year to year, but we're all hopeful that he'll play another year after this one, Ron.
Okay, Sergei Fedorov. Who and how was the $38 million offer sheet crafted?
Well, there was a group of people that we looked at several ideas. In the end, after a thorough analysis of the collective bargaining agreement, you know, in offer sheets, as in many cases, you're looking for loopholes, you're looking for cracks that might be able to be explored, and we felt very, very comfortable when we created the language in the offer sheet that we had found, if you will, a loophole in the CBA, and ultimately the arbitrator agreed that the language was absolutely in the format that the CBA said it could be.
Right, Michael. The NHL's contention was it should be invalid because they said the bonus of $12 million for a conference berth final appearance was unrealistic in Carolina, unfair to Detroit. So how'd you win the arbitration?
Well, again, the language was the paramount reason why we prevailed in the arbitration. It was in perfect form with the CBA and the guidelines that it gives for offer sheets. But the Carolina Hurricanes, I must say, were in complete and total sincerity in their intention to provide the player with the advancement of the bonus monies if they made it to the conference finals. And the truth is, it's not additional money that a clause like this creates. All it is a forwarding of monies. And on that basis, if a team goes to the conference finals, Ron, they're going to have probably 6, 8, 10, 12 even playoff additional home games with additional revenues that in most cases they probably haven't budgeted for. So really it's just a case of them sharing those monies with the player by virtue of a prior agreement and negotiation.
But it's still a lot of money up front. $14 million signing bonus, $12 million for the conference finals. Was that specifically to try and dissuade Detroit and help Sergei move on?
Well, sure. I mean, that's the intention. You can call it a bitter pill. You can call it whatever you like. When the Rangers made their offer to Joe Sakic, it had $15 million up front. A couple of years prior to that, Chicago offering Keith Tkachuk a $6 million advance on signing. Those are all the intention in an offer sheet. You don't send an offer sheet to a club without hoping that there's something in there that will make it difficult for the team to accept.
So then how does Sergei really feel about being back in Detroit?
Well, he made some very strong comments today that money is not the issue why he's back with Detroit. It's to win another cup. You know, if you look at the contract over the term, it's probably very fair for both sides. You have to give Ken Holland full marks. He never gave Sergei Fedorov a nickel more than he was compelled to do. And in the end, he gave him what he was compelled to do. So I think it's a very fair contract, and they're all going to get back on the same page now here in Detroit and try to defend the Stanley Cup.
You know that your last 3 contracts equal $110 million?
Well, you know, these are for players that are at the very top of the league, very, very elite players who put people in seats, who are the go-to guys when clubs are trying to win important hockey games. They're instrumental in the success of their franchises, and the type of dollars that they've received, Jaromir, Matt Sundin, and now Sergei, are really, you know, instrumental in the fact that the players earn them because they have a great degree of validity in the club's success or otherwise.
Well, Mike, the next negotiation's Brett Hull. Good luck and thanks.
My pleasure, Ron.
Mike Barnett, the agent for Wayne Gretzky, and those three we mentioned, and now Brett Hull is an important negotiation. There's a lot of speculation that perhaps Larry Plow will try to work a deal because they'll lose him in the summer if they don't get something done. How do they, though, tell the fans in St. Louis you're losing your marquee sniper? Lots ahead there. We have an update from the Edmonton Coliseum. It's now 4-1. The Oilers look to be home and cooled against San Jose, and this is the reason why. Power play for the Sharks. Rem Murray, the Stratford streak, breaks away and beats Kelly Rudy, and that's all that it should take in the third period at Edmonton. 4-1 now. The Oilers lead San Jose. 4-0 was the final here at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto in the second and final meeting between the Canadiens and the Leafs. They'll now collide 5 times next